It's intermission time, folks, so hurry, hurry, hurry. Step right over to our refreshment center for the most extravagant array of refreshment goodies ever assembled under one roof. Enjoy breathtaking, mouth-watering goodies, everything from a snack to a delicious full meal. At our refreshment center, you'll find a large variety of goodies to satisfy your hunger, your thirst, or your sweet tooth. So hurry, hurry, hurry. Visit our refreshment center now. And now, on with the show.
Live from several different continents and countries, it's the Brickfilm Day 2023 live stream event. Join us as we laugh, cry, reminisce, and recollect our favorite moments from this year's Brickfilm Day Festival.
God, my phone is crashed.
Now, here's your hosts, James Cowwood, BP Animations, and Blandeer. It's the Brickfilm Day 2023 live stream event. Oh, there we are. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Brickfilm Day 2023 live stream event. If something doesn't sound right, make sure to spam it in chat, and then we will get back to you as soon as we can. So I'm Blandeer, of course, and today I'm joined with...
Me. Bricks and Pieces Animation. This is me.
It's the man himself.
Or commonly known as BP.
Commonly known as BP. For what does that stand for, everybody? Bricks and Pieces. That's
I'll let the chat decide.
The chat can decide. So I think we want to start off a little bit today. First off, thank you to everyone for coming to the stream. But I think, BP, maybe you'd like to say a few words in reflection of this being the 5th Brickfilm Day event. 6th. 5 years in a row, but there's 6th.
Yes, that's correct. It means a lot that so many people still look forward to each year and still take part. So thank you to everyone who took part in the festival, who uploaded, or even just people who watch videos, watch along the playlist on the day. So yeah, it means a lot. Didn't think 6 years ago we'd still be here, still doing this event each year. So thank you.
Now that it's happened, and now that we're here, could you picture yourself doing anything else for 24 hours? I mean, you do a lot more than just the day of the event, though, to be fair. But could you imagine yourself doing anything else?
Yeah, I expect I'll still be doing this on my deathbed, age 95. So from day 2100.
2100 Brickfilm Day. You guys put that in your calendars. I'm going to be there. I'm excited. We've got a great event planned for the stream today. We've got, how many guests do we have altogether?
We've got 6 teams.
6 teams.
Not sure how many people in total. Our first guest is actually 4 guests, if you can believe it.
4 guests at one time. We'll see if we can fit them all in here. I'm sure we will.
Yeah. So the purpose of the stream, we're just going to get on a few participants who made some entries we really liked, and just talk to them about the process, and have a little watch along maybe as well.
Yeah, we do plan to stream the videos as we watch them. We're going to watch them with the people who made them, and then we're going to, chat about them. If you guys have any questions in the chat, when they're here, feel free to type them in. But I know, do we want to keep the guests a surprise, or should we do like a quick rundown?
We can do a quick rundown. Some of them have announced it already, so yeah.
Well, the first ones was the group, like you said, a group of many different animators, and we have a few of them here today, who did the Chainsaw Man anime intro all together. It was a collaborative thing. So they're going to be our first guest. And then we have a Brick History coming on later. After that, we have Plastic Peeps Performances. And then Toad Productions, Joko, who I'm sure you're all very familiar with. And, of course, we have Christopher Wynn and Sean Willis, the co-admins of Bricks in Motion. I'm sure you're all familiar with them as well, who made this great documentary that I just... Don't tell anybody, but I only watched it this morning. But it's very, very good. It's very, very good. I have to say, it came together beautifully. And I think it goes without a doubt. It's probably the largest production value in terms of an entry to this year's festival. Yeah,
and by far the longest as well. Yes. Worth every minute.
But absolutely. So was there, I mean, before we get started, maybe we can, do we know when the first guests are coming on here?
Any moment now. I'll add them to the DM and hopefully they join.
But I do want to say to the people, to our viewers at home, 6 Brickfilm days, but there's been a lot of Brickfilm Day events over the years. So I have to ask you guys, what have been some of your favorite Brickfilm Day memories? I think mine have, definitely a few of the history videos that have come out, for sure. Finish the story, this guy says. Oh, wow, do I have news for you?
Maybe there'll be a 4th one, maybe not.
The Halloween finished the
Used to
story.
say.
Oh, and Mossel remembers a time he was almost late to a Brickfilm Day live stream and woke up 10 minutes before. Yeah, that was a good time. I'm sure the hosts appreciated that very much. Okay, I think we have our gentleman here.
Hello.
Not quite. I'm having troubles adding Rest in Pieces, the big man himself.
Oh no, not Rip.
Oh, I don't have him as friend. Whoops.
I can add
Should
Rip.
have probably ensured that before. Yeah, just add him.
Yeah, get in all the gentlemen here.
Let's get him in here.
Rip, you're late.
What? What you guys?
My bad. I take full responsibility for it.
Oh,
Welcome,
okay.
welcome all.
Whoa, that was scary. I thought I was looking everywhere. I couldn't find a voice channel.
No, we're here. We're hiding.
Yeah, I
away.
was going through my friend list and realized I hadn't added you yet, so I can add you to the group.
Okay, that's good.
So should we do a quick introduction? Does everyone want to introduce themselves?
Sure. You want to just? Who wants to go first?
Well,
Gilgy will go first.
yeah,
Oh, no, I gotta go first.
that's exactly what I was going to say. I was going to say that as well. Great thinking.
Good job, guys.
Hi, my name's Gilgy. I don't know, my channel's called Gilgy. That's about it. Like,
Are you sure it's called Gilgy Go? Because I always said it as Gliggy. I always thought your channel was Gliggy.
it's
Is
Gil.
that a-
It's Gilgy because it's my last name, but shortened. And my last
Okay.
name's pronounced
Oh,
Gilgy.
I've been saying
Very
Jilgy.
smart.
Gliggy.
Yeah, people always mispronounce it, but it's okay. I think I did a collab and it was misspelled in the little bottom corner that says what part you did. On the video, it was misspelled, which I always thought was really funny.
Yeah, I always thought it was Gliggy. It wasn't Gliggy.
Dang.
So we have Gilgy,
Alright.
and we all learned
Gilgy.
something there.
Glad we cleared that up.
And so who's next in this wonderful collaboration?
Yeah, screw it. I guess I'll go. Hello there. I'm Airborne. My channel's Airborne Productions. For the collab, I did a few, mostly blender shots, and then I did one practical shot, and that's pretty much it.
Very fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to go last. You go first, Mason.
Okay. I'm Mayoso. I'm the guy who kind of convinced Rip to start the thing, and I did one segment. And
You
then
did some. Yeah.
I did two offshoot shots.
And you also did transitions.
Oh yeah, I edited the whole thing.
Well, that's pretty big.
Yeah.
I feel like
And,
that's
you kind of organized everything.
yeah. You can't
Don't
understate
undersell
that.
Yeah,
yourself
just-
here.
Spaced it a little bit.
Okay. Well, I am Rest in Pieces Productions. I'm also called Rip. I animated. For some reason, I decided to animate. What was it again? 69% of the video.
Yeah.
8.8 actually, but we had to round up.
We're gonna round up to 69%
round
because that's funnier. I animated 69% of the video. I don't know. It was quite the working experience, I will say. Quite a fun collaboration.
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 What a jolly collaboration.
I will also say that there are two versions of the edit. I don't know when Airborne is gonna launch
God damn it.
There are two versions of the edit. I just gotta put it out because there is one that's pasted different. You'd only know this if you'd watched it a million times, and I've watched the intro a million times. So I don't know when Airborne's gonna post his side by side, but I don't know. I also edited the video.
Probably soon, I'd imagine.
Please do. I'm
Okay.
making so many shorts.
All right. I'll get on it.
Do it.
So for all
I
the
don't watch the
dedicated Chainsaw Man fans out there, there's an alternative intro.
Yes.
Yeah, it's 2 beats slower.
No, you don't get it. It's so important. I've seen it so many times. No, I promise I'm not crazy, guys. One has more edits and got effects on it. It's horrible. The new one's horrible. You guys got to believe it.
And it's 2 beats slower.
Exactly. It's the pacing is all wrong.
So I
don't
have
know.
to ask then, because I'm just purely curious, how do you end up, how do you settle on doing a Chainsaw Man collaboration?
How did that happen?
Is
Nathan?
someone here
Or
very
maybe-
passionate about Chainsaw Man? I don't know.
So
I mean, it's-
I'd been badgering Rip for a while about like doing an anime recreation, like Neon Genesis or something, and then Chainsaw Man released, and we were both just talking. What were we both just talking about the opening or something? And I just suggested, let's recreate this.
Yeah, let's
It'll-
all recreate.
Yeah, we'll have it done in a week. We'll have it
We'll
done
have
in
it
a
done.
month.
Wing,
Done.
wing.
We'll get it out by Christmas, boys. Let's do it. Quick adventure,
Yeah.
20 minutes.
That was
Wow.
fun.
How long did it take you guys? Because I was seeing behind the scenes Instagram pictures like months back. So
Like,
We
okay, well,
started it in like what, October?
yeah, we started it like I started animating like maybe 1 week after the intro came out, and I didn't even have the figures. I just was like animating the ball. I just animated the ball. Oh my god, this ball is so cool. I don't know.
Fight Club.
that was a great shot. Yeah. Shall we watch the video?
Let's watch the
Yeah.
video. We
Yeah,
need
let's
more
watch it.
views. We gotta watch. We need more views.
There's
Well,
a
I-
video.
I-
We need
I'll link
look at all
the
that
original in the
content.
description as well.
Look at all that. I tried time stamping it, but it just says I did the whole video.
Ah,
It's funny
a
how that
slander
works out,
sly.
isn't it?
I know, isn't that crazy?
bonkers.
Like it doesn't read anything under 0.4 seconds. That's crazy.
There were so many of these shots that took so long to make just to show up for like 2 seconds because of how much crazy stuff was going on in that intro. It's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, it was the clay shot. Yeah, that took forever.
Oh, dude! When I first saw that clay shot, I was like, "This dude must have stayed up all night making this because this looks almost flawless to a T. Like, what the heck?"
Oh, is
Yeah,
that
in
what-
terms of smoothness, Gilgy did have one of like the smoothest clips in my opinion.
is that the shot of the clay face where you burst through?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, that was a highlight for me. Yeah, definitely.
So it paid off.
It was like one of the earlier shots. That
Yeah, I think that's actually one of the
Yeah.
first few shots completed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like, I did that one pretty quick. I think it was the green guy shot took forever for me. I could never get that one.
Future Devil.
Is that what
I like- Yeah. I liked. I don't know. Were there two versions? Because there was one that was like a different.
Yeah,
the
there
angle-
was
just one where the
one.
angle was
Wasn't he like
off.
more yellow or something? I don't remember the exact.
Yeah, that was like
Justification.
Katana, dude.
Yeah.
All right.
Like,
Well,
wait,
let's take a quick viewing of the video here on stream
Okay.
with everyone among us, and then we'll get back. You can
You had to say that around
He said
Mason.
it. He said it. He said it.
you can
Oh boy.
give us the
Remember
director's
when the
commentary of Chainsaw Man
Okay.
collab stop motion anime opening.
Yeah. I definitely didn't change the thumbnail and like the title 1,000 times. Wink.
Though
You seem to be insinuating
the stream is a little bit delayed, but just bear that in mind.
And then there's like one shot from Codeman.
Oh, thank goodness we had Codeman on this thing. Really,
He was the key to it all.
he was really. No, Grasso was the key to it all.
Grasso
Oh,
was the
absolutely.
key. He was
Grasso
hiding
was
in the
the key.
background, just waiting for a shot, and we were like, "Hey, do this 2-second shot of the freaking chainsaw puppy."
Yeah, at the 11th hour, we're like, hey, does anybody have whatever this thing is?
What a guy.
What
Yeah.
a great guy.
That bit with the water is really impressive.
Who did that? Was it?
It was Jexter. It was Jexter.
Yeah.
That was Jexter. That was the one. I can't remember Mason. I forget. Didn't you want me to do that clip? And like Rip was like, "No, let's just get
Got
Jexter to do
some-
it."
I didn't
No,
even know
Sorry.
he was
No,
on
no,
the
no,
Sorry to
front.
interrupt, but I think we've got some audio issues.
I don't know how that was working because like we needed more people, and then I tried to get like I got Jexter, and then he did his shots in like a week, and I was like, what? He's so productive. How did he do that? And then I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't know he was on the project until the shots were done.
Yeah, I'll be honest.
I thought-
That's
I thought that was airborne at first.
No,
No, it's
man.
Jexter.
I could never do something that high level. Like water simulations scare me.
Yeah.
For now.
You are not making me do anything of that level.
Yet.
You would have to pay me a
Guys.
significant amount of money, good sir.
Guys, we just need some help with some 3D shots. We just need a little bit of help with some 3D assist work. Wink.
I mean, it looks like you guys did a really good job altogether there. Like, that's a really beautifully put together video.
Thank you.
Yeah, just apologies. It did appear there was no sound for that video, but we're trying to fix it for the
Yeah, you
next
don't want to
one
get
this year.
copyright. It's good.
Yeah,
That's true.
well, that encourages.
Well, the
go-
sound from the video would probably drown our voices out anyway.
Yeah, you can guys go watch the video yourselves, and you'll get the full audio experience. And then you can compare
That's
it with
true.
the Easter egg version that Airborne will be uploading eventually.
I don't even have the clip. Rip, you haven't even sent it my way, my man. You haven't.
Eh?
You haven't sent it my way.
But it's in the but it's in
The
Mason made
original edit is in the
No,
drive.
I made no.
Okay.
At like the last moment, one day before Brickfilm Day, I spent an entire night editing the video to make it like match my timing, be on my tempo. But I don't know. So the one that like matches the normal intro is already in the drive.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Not quite my tempo.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rip turned into Terrence Fletcher with the edit of the Chainsaw Man.
Guys, you don't understand. It's 1 second. It's very different. I promise.
It's 2 beats.
It's 2
Yeah, no,
beats.
it's very important. It's very important to me. You don't understand.
Take your word for it. I'll take a look at it in a bit.
So
Take a look at
how was it that you guys? I mean, you've been working on this project for a long time, and between Rip and Mason, it sounds like you guys were kind of spearheading the project. So how did you get the whole team together? How did you assemble each other? Say these guys would be good for this, do that shot, this shot, whatever.
I can speak on Gilgi. I saw his clip in what was it? Corey's Welcome to the Internet collab. And I went to Lucas. I'm like, hey, I know the perfect guy for this clip. Let's see if we can get him. And then like a day later, he was part of the project.
I think there was Insomnia Animations who did who had some Chainsaw Man like animations or shorts. Jexter also posted a render of all the characters, so I was like, oh, he's got it. We can get him in. But I don't know if I invited anyone else.
I think Airborne was just easy to get for 3D work, and I feel bad saying that.
We did not use we should have used 3D like differently, because like why did we do the first shot in live action and not in 3D? Like I don't know.
The very first clip.
Yeah, I feel like
Originally,
like that,
we were gonna do it in 3D, but then you said do it in stop motion.
Well,
This is the collaborative aspect of collaborating is coming out right now. The pointing of fingers.
Exactly.
But how?
So
did you guys plan that out? Were you saying like this shot would be good in 3D or like CGI, whatever? And like
we actually had a whole Google Doc.
It was literally a whole like Google. What was it? Google Sheets? Was it?
Yes.
Google Doc.
Yeah, it was like,
it wasn't on Sheets.
Oh, okay. It was Google Docs, Sheets, whatever. It was like a planned out section of all the clips, and we're like, okay, this clip is this long and has this many stuff going on in it. Would it work well as 3D or not? And then like we would just either pick it out or be assigned. For me, my clips were assigned from Mason because he was like, hey, you're doing some 3D work. Here are the clips we think could be used in 3D. Despite my best efforts to push against some of these shots for 3D, but
some of them we did end up doing in stop motion anyway.
Oh yeah, some of them we did end up doing in stop motion. Like the
Yeah.
one with the bullets. I convinced you I was going to do that practically.
Yeah, and the opening
Good
shot
idea.
we ended up switching that.
That was me.
That was you.
That was me.
That was you.
That was you.
And so,
So
yeah, go ahead, BP.
no, okay. I was just gonna ask, how did this recreation collab compare to other ones you've done in the past? Because most of you have done other collaborative recreations in the past, I believe. And yeah, this seems quite a tough one, just all the crazy camera angles and stuff.
Who wants to go first?
I don't think I've ever done anything on this like scale working together. I guess I don't know. I kind of, or at least I felt that like it was originally like Maisel was pushing it forward, and then like halfway through we missed like the first we missed the Christmas deadline, and then we thought Brickfilm Day would be in March, and then we missed that deadline, and then I kind of like took over the project. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I kind of kick-started it, and then exams.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've organised a fair few collaborations in my time, and yeah, I relate to the missing deadlines part.
I think BP's selling himself a little short there, but
Okay, there's one project in particular which is a bit more delayed than all the rest.
Yeah.
But we won't speak on that just yet.
so I guess in a way it's a good thing
Yeah.
that BFD this year was moved to be a little bit later.
Oh, definitely. We would not have finished.
Oh,
we
yeah,
might have not.
absolutely.
The fact that we're even able to like, do something like this, it was just happened coincidentally. Mason was like, "Yo, guys, what if we get this out for Brickfilm Day since we missed Christmas?" We're like, "All right, let's do it."
Didn't we have like I think the shot Grasso did? He did like the night before it was uploaded, or like
Yeah.
He was
It
really
was like the
close.
day. It was like almost, it was like
that's
nearly
where
the day
the
of my
11th
time. I
hour
think.
meme comes from. Because we were
Yeah.
like literally a day before the deadline, and we didn't have the one still frame, and nobody had a little Pachita image.
No, I had one. You just it's just I was asleep because it was the
Oh,
11th
yeah.
freaking hour.
Could
Exactly.
have woken up.
Well, sorry, some of us need sleep.
I don't need
Sleep
sleep.
is for the weak.
Animators
Exactly.
don't get sleep.
I'll let it through the night.
Can confirm he did do that.
So is there anything else about the video maybe you guys want the fans to know? How have you enjoyed the reception so far since it's been out? It's been a week now.
I'd say it's been pretty positive. I don't think
Comments, very good
disappointed in
comments.
it.
A lot of I had a friend who had no idea I was involved with the project. He was like, "Wait, you're doing this? Oh, pretty sweet." Because like he was following it was Morp. So he was like following both Rip and Mason, and he was like, "Yo, you guys doing a Chainsaw Man collab? That's pretty cool." And then he found out I was in it. He was like, "Oh, that's pretty freaking sweet." So
Love Morp.
Yeah, it was good
Morp's
enough.
cool.
Benji Studios says that it convinced him to watch the actual series. So there's
Hey, victory!
We need to cash royalties, boys. We're giving them free advertising.
Yeah.
We gotta start charging.
I'll be honest. I
Have you-
still
have you-
haven't seen it.
Heresy.
What?
That's the point, though. Have you tried reaching out to any of the creators and tagging them in Twitter or anything to try and get their attention?
Like I've been meaning to like at Mappa Studios on Twitter.
Is that
But I haven't-
allowed? Because like I
I
don't
haven't
feel they
done it
would
yet.
respond.
Well, I don't think they would respond, but it'd be funny.
It would
It's
be
worth
funny.
shooting a shot.
If it did, it would be like those like people who like run the Twitter accounts, like the SpongeBob Twitter account, interacting with the Wendy's Twitter account. It would just be like that for, like,
Exactly.
yeah,
Hey, the Wendy's Twitter account is funny.
it is funny. I will give you that.
but they don't produce
don't
great
think- Or
content
even-
like you guys do. So
That is.
Have
true.
you had a Baconator?
Maybe we got to do a Wendy's collab.
Wendy's anime opening when?
Write that down. Write that down.
Brickfilm Day 2024.
Mark your calendars.
put it on the list.
Anyway, thank you all for joining us. You guys, Chainsaw Man boys, not the general viewers, but you guys, Chainsaw Man guys, we're gonna sadly say goodbye to you now and bring in our next guest, if that's okay. Don't mean
All
to
good.
kick
It's
you
okay.
off, but thanks very much
That
for
was
joining.
that was cool. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you boys for joining us.
Thanks for coming in.
And great,
no
great
problem,
work
anytime.
again
Thank
on
you
the
for
video.
having
Glad
us
to be
on.
here.
Splendid.
All right.
Toodaloo,
So,
Bye-bye.
people.
And the video is found on Rip's channel, correct? Just for
Oh
And
yes,
yours-
that is
Oh
correct.
yes,
It is-
rest
It is
in
on his
peace
channel.
Productions, Rip Resting. Oh boy.
Rest in Peace Productions. Splendid. Thank you,
Rest
gentlemen.
in pieces.
And I think I can say on behalf of everyone here, we all look forward to the next collaboration.
That will definitely happen.
That will definitely
boy.
happen.
Chainsaw Man season
I
2.
sure of it.
No! No!
Oh no, never again. Oh my god.
You are never dragging me back down to that hellhole, you.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Thank you, boys.
Thank you.
Thank you, boys.
Ciao.
Splendid. So there you had it. Those were our first guests of the evening. We had Maisel there, Airborne, Gilgy, and Rip, of course. And you can watch their video. I think the link was in the chat room
Yeah.
there at some point.
I send it again.
I'll put it in again. Yeah. Really great stuff.
There we go. Yeah. Really impressive video all around. Especially like that was a really tough recreation to recreate. And
Yeah.
somehow they pulled it off.
To not only do a collaboration, which is in so many ways already so difficult, but to do a collaboration on and recreate that content that is so rapid fire, it's really chaotic if you're not organized, but it sounded like they were, so that's always good to see.
I think we're just about ready to move on to our next guest.
Splendid.
Just add him in here.
I was gonna say this is a John is right. Everyone smash like on the stream if you think Blandeer is handsome.
Hello, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Oh, pleasure.
We
This is a
We're
Brick
joined here
history,
by-
everybody. Round of applause, round of applause.
My full legal name.
A full legal name, indeed. Yes.
Yeah. Pretty crazy.
So why don't you tell us a little bit, just to get started here, about Battle of the Artists, Bob Ross and Vincent van Gogh.
Well, I don't know. There's not all that much to tell, but I got the Starry Night set last summer. It's pretty cool. And I had the Van Gogh figure. Kind of wanted to play around with that. I sort of used it as an excuse to just play around with a lot of brick build effects and that sort of thing. So, yeah.
Yeah, it definitely seems like, I don't know if this was intentional or not, but it seems like a culmination of like all these brick built effects and like playing with scale, and you've tried out and different tests across the past year.
Mhm.
Was that intentional to kind of put them all together in one long narrative video?
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'm not great at like story-driven animations at this point. Like I haven't really delved into that too much. So
Yeah.
it was sort of starting point. But I definitely want to get into more narrative-driven stuff in the future.
Yeah, and even though it was just the fight scene on the paper, it was a really creative one at that. Like
Yeah.
most people, when they want to do a fight scene, they just do a lightsaber duel or John Wick scene or superheroes fighting, whereas this was legendary artists fire and paint at each other.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, and they're battling to create this video that is, legendary art because, like BP says, it's not just guys smashing their heads into counters or something, but it's this cool thing with artists and the way the paint and the minifigures change color so rapidly and with all these little effects. It's really creative. It's really
Thank you.
to see it is really nice to the eye as well.
Thanks.
Shall we
that-
watch it?
Oh,
Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, go
No,
ahead. Go
continue.
ahead.
No, that Bob Ross figure, I've taken it around with me, like to take pictures at different like photogenic locations over the years. But
Mhm.
it's just kind of a funny little thing that I decided to include.
Yeah,
Just wanted to incorporate that too.
because I was gonna ask, how did you settle on Bob Ross is the guy who should be challenging Vincent van Gogh.
I don't know. It's kind of a weird pairing to actually look at it historically, but
It is,
yeah,
I suppose, but
I just had that figure lying around, so I decided to use it. But yeah.
no, very cool indeed. So yeah, let's take a quick view of the video here. And you can give us a little bit of director's commentary if there's any.
Yeah. Sorry, I need to pull it up because I do not have the stream going.
No problem.
So I actually started this like maybe 9 months ago for the Manifest Bricks in Motion contest, but as is true of any good brick filmer, I procrastinated quite a bit. So
Of course.
I had most of it done like last August maybe, but then I finished it up for Brickfilm Day. Yeah. I don't really know what to say. I was just sort of playing with a bunch of different parts and sorts of transformations.
Yeah, I mean, the choreography is really awe-inspiring. Was that something you kind of planned out, or just you kind of did it as it happened?
Not really. I'm not very good about like storyboarding or anything like that. I just made it up as I went along. I mean, I had some general ideas of where I wanted it to go, but yeah.
I love this bit here.
Yeah,
Where he's falling in the abyss.
It's over, Vincent. Your vain display of artistry has only revealed your ineptitude.
I'm afraid you're incorrect, Bob. Time for one more lesson from the masters. I summon thee, Picasso!
Yeah, for that I used like that shot of the staff shattering. I used a bunch of broken brown bricks. I just had quite the collection of brittle brown.
Yeah.
Yeah, myself as well. It's a collection that's slowly grown with time. Broken bricks,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Every time I use brown, there's one casualty at least.
Yeah. Every Brickfilmer's got a collection, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And so another really beautiful part of the video is not just the choreography and using all these unique elements and the transition of color. I mean, the whole thing is just a really beautiful video. But the camera work as well is really nice. Like, it flows with the movements. And was that something while you were making it, were you keeping that in mind? Kind of like
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I have a very helpful tripod with like a ball joint head attachment, but I think keeping in mind to animate like the camera movement in the same way you would a character, like following the same principles of animation, is something I thought about a lot with that.
Yeah, for sure. It's one of those brick films I find, and I'm sure a lot of our viewers do as well, just like very inspiring. It makes me wish I could do something like that, you know?
Thank you. That's really nice to hear.
Absolutely. And the whole use of the Brickfilm effects and all these pieces that you wouldn't typically think of to use, and they just flow so well in the animation.
Thank you.
And I really love Picasso coming in at the end. There's this big abstract head.
Oh yeah.
What was that like to animate? Because you've done quite a bit of.
It was a little hard to manage, I guess, because I was thinking about how I wanted to end the fight, and I was thinking I wanted to introduce, some sort of other player into this. So I thought Picasso, another pretty notable artist, and I didn't really want to represent him as a normal minifigure, so I thought, might as well make him sort of like a cubist caricature of himself. But yeah, it's a little hard to move around. Very janky.
As Picasso would have intended a little bit, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And where was it you got the... I mean, I know you mentioned a little bit, just having the two figures and stuff, but, overall, I guess, where did you get the idea from in terms of... I don't know, just like, did you look at things for inspiration or like a reference in how you should do this?
Not really. I mean, I looked at a little bit of their art just to sort of try and incorporate like the more elemental style of Bob Ross into his attacks, and Van Gogh with like some of the swirls and that sort of thing.
Oh,
But
right on.
I don't know. I didn't really plan it out in that way.
Right on. Yeah, I didn't even notice that, but that makes a lot of sense. Like you say, the element using the artist's art style, not just like Picasso, like we mentioned, but Van Gogh and Bob Ross, and incorporating it into their move set, I guess you would say.
Yeah.
But...
Yeah, I did pick up on the fact that I think you did a good job at differentiating the fighting style. I didn't necessarily align everything with all the references to the paintings or anything, but I do think you gave them a nice different style.
Thank you.
And so
Yeah,
sorry. No, go ahead.
So I didn't really like align everything perfectly. There was a lot of made up stuff, but
of course.
Yeah.
And is there going to be a part 2? Is there going to be 2 other artists?
I don't know about that. I mean, it might be fun to try and imitate a different style, like something with Dali, like very surreal. I don't know.
And so you said the whole thing took you 9 months to make altogether. Is that right?
Yeah. I mean, it was very spread out, but.
And so was
it? Yeah, I noticed you used the set in one of your Brickfilm Day contest entries from the summer.
Yeah. I actually dropped it, moving it back and forth, so I had to rebuild it. Yeah.
That's a really, really detailed set as well.
Thank you, yeah. Normally I use a pretty simple, like just a couple bricks slapped on a base plate, but I wanted to try something a little more with this.
Yeah, you got the nice medieval Tudor looking buildings in the background.
Yeah, a really beautiful thing, from the finest details to the final pictures. It's just really put together all very finely and detailed, with a lot of attention to detail. So working on it for 9 months, was this something you expected to upload for Brickfilm Day, or did that just end up working out that way?
No, not at all. I just kept procrastinating it, but it did work out, like you said.
Yeah, I think that's a theme everybody here can relate to. I know myself, I went through a lot of that this Brickfilm Day, but it works out in the end, right?
Yeah. I almost procrastinated something last Brickfilm Day, procrastinated something into uploading it last Brickfilm Day, but I actually finished it a little bit too early. But for this one, it worked out.
Timing just perfect. Don't know if any viewers have any questions for you. Just want to involve the chat a little bit more. How was your day? That's a question.
Going okay.
How is your day?
Too crazy. Doing some homework mostly.
Yeah. Okay. We got one from Bertel. Which of the artists is your favorite, Bob Ross or Van Gogh?
I don't know. I think I have to say Van Gogh. I think
a little more.
Yes, that's why you won.
The ending, the ending is a little bit in his favor, I think.
Yeah, it might be a little telling, but
yeah, I love the way Bob Ross just gets sucked up as well. Did Picasso's weird big face.
Did it feel bad having to hurt Bob Ross?
It did, because like both Bob Ross and Van Gogh, like in life, were pretty great people and both kind of misunderstood. And I did kind of regret forcing them to battle each other and Lego,
But they battled over something they love. I feel like both of them would have really enjoyed that. Yeah, for sure.
Were there any shots in particular that were especially challenging?
I mean, the shot where Bob Ross goes into his own head it was a little difficult to get that white background to work because I just like shot it against a light, but I had to adjust the exposure and just line it up correctly to hide the supports and all that. Lots of blue tack involved.
I imagine, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was just saying, no, that's one of my favorite shots, so it turned out great.
Thank you. Yeah.
Plastic Peeps. Oh, sorry.
As to that, I don't really do much planning, so probably the animating. But yeah, I would like to actually try storyboarding sometime. It would definitely help, but I just haven't. I animated at 12 FPS for this one.
Do you actually paint a lot? That's actually something I'm curious. Do you paint?
No, I don't.
No. That explains why the video is so good. All the creative energy of Brick history is being put into that. That's how it goes.
I had to dump it all into it.
Yeah.
I do feel like the fight's got some nice progression, even though you didn't necessarily plan it out beforehand. So it hits the right beats, I feel.
Thanks. I'm glad that had that effect.
Yeah, it has this nice progressive, I guess like BP says, like hitting the beats where it's like a bit, easier, a bit slower at the start, and then it kind of picks itself up into this like huge climax. Bob Ross goes in his own head, and then Picasso shows up, and the world ends, and what have you. But
very cataclysmic.
Indeed.
Yeah.
What else? Okay.
Grotesque Brick asks if there's anything you'd change about the fight in hindsight.
I think I would definitely work on the pacing a bit and maybe actually try to plan out the choreography a little more, just because there is the slow start, and I think that can work, but I don't know. I wasn't in love with that.
Yeah, what was the biggest lesson you learned from this? Was it that you're going to plan that more in future? Is that your big takeaway?
I'm not sure if I can hold myself to that, but
yeah, better not to.
Maybe. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like it inspired me to do something else because I've spent so long doing all these different effects, and now I want to actually try just telling a story more so. But
yeah. So you kind of want to like combine everything you've learned by doing it practically and like make it tell a thing.
Definitely. Yeah.
It's exciting.
Yeah. Thank you very much for joining us, by the way.
Thank you for having me.
No worries. But our next guest is ready to join, I think, so
I'll head out.
bid you farewell, and thank you for coming on and sharing and entering the video. That was thanks for taking part.
Thank you.
I was going to say, you can find them at A Brick History on YouTube. A Brick History. The name's in the bottom there. So you can find them.
Repost the link to this video.
Yeah. And I feel like that's a perfect example of a video that you go through on YouTube with the greater than less than keys, frame by frame, to see like how he did that. Because I mean, it's still really phenomenal. The little feather pieces or whatever you call them, I don't know, and all the whole minifigure changing. It's a really breathtaking thing for sure.
Absolutely. Just get our next guest in here.
Who is our next guest? I'm excited to talk
He's
with Plastic Peeps Performances.
already seen him watching along in the live stream chat.
Yeah, you guys might have had an exclusive sneak peek with him in the live stream call. And now we have him here.
Hello, hello.
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 Okay, cool.
Welcome. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Well. I just found out, or not just found out, a few days ago. I found out there's a beehive that's like burrowing into the outside of my room.
Oh. That doesn't sound too good.
Now that's an opener. I'm taking that one. Splendid.
Yeah. Oh, and it turns out as well, just to be extra amazing, coincidental, it's World Bee Day today.
Oh.
So, and I was looking around my room to see like, oh, I hope there aren't any holes in my walls that the bees can get through. And I was like, oh, it seems mostly safe. And I look under my radiator and there's a massive square hole. So, if I suddenly
What are the chances?
Yeah, I know. If I suddenly start screaming and I'm like, oh, and then you hear like, and just an angry swarm of bees, then that's my demise on stream for you.
Are they like getting into your room?
Increase the viewership.
No, they're not getting into my room. But to be honest, I'm not sure if there's actually any barrier between where they're burrowing and the hole in my wall. So I'm just like living on the edge here.
Right. The bees are in your walls.
Yeah. Yeah, I can hear them when I sleep and stuff. It's slightly intimidating. Yeah, just like very slight clicking and stuff. Yeah.
Oh.
So, yeah, other than that, like looming threat of death by bees. How about you?
Yeah, well, I can safely say there are no bees in my walls, so I have a lot to be thankful for on World Bee Day. I found out just now.
Yeah.
No bees here, to my knowledge. So
no imminent existential threats.
I mean, that's a perfect excuse to put like a planter basket right outside your room. I'm sure you'll get like huge tomatoes.
Oh wow, yeah, I suppose so. Maybe I can have like if I drill a hole in the right place, maybe I'll get like honey to like drip into my mouth while I'm asleep or something.
Now there's an idea. I mean, that's worth the risk. You either get a bunch of honey or a bunch of bees in your room. So
yeah,
they'll crown you queen of the hive.
Yeah.
Well,
anyway,
BP
moving on to your video. Moving on to your video, Gouda Getaway.
Yeah.
I see. I noticed it was like inspired by these Japanese masquerade skits. Do you want to talk a little bit about that and why you decided to like translate that to Brickfilm form?
Yeah, because I thought so. That animation, the concept of the show is you've got to do some kind of incredibly creative dramatic scene, and you have to do it all with like fake special effects because it's all like a theater basically. And so you have this like dark black background and a bunch of people in these dark suits, and they have to like carry all of the, if a character, I don't know, if he's like Superman and he's flying, then you have to get a bunch of guys in these black suits to carry Superman and like make him look like he's flying because you can't see the guys in the background. And I thought it would, like like that. And I thought it would work really well for like a celebration of brick filming, because normally you if you want a good animation, normally you have to get rid of the stuff that's holding the flying stuff in the air. You have to like edit it out. But if I could incorporate it into the animation, I thought it'd be a great way to have an interesting animation and also kind of celebrate the way animation works.
For sure. I didn't even realize that, but yeah, that's a great point. You're kind of, well, like you said, you're celebrating the way that this kind of stop motion stuff even happens.
Yeah.
So it's a fitting tribute as well, because obviously Brickfilm Day was on the 50th anniversary of Journey to the Moon, which is another moon traveling based Brickfilm.
Yeah, I thought I had to do it because it was because it was an anniversary video, and I generally make so many birthday animations. I thought, well, I really have to it would be so on brand for me to make an anniversary video, so I thought I had to do it.
Absolutely. I correct me if I'm wrong, but I did see some Grand Day Out influence in there as well, with just the design of the rocket.
Yeah, because that one's another moon animation, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought I had to combine that. Yeah.
It's kind of funny when you think about it. All these animations are based around the moon, where there's zero gravity, yet there's all these limitations that come with animating. That's really cool.
Yeah. I think it makes for an interesting challenge to try and keep the things flying. But yeah, I don't know why people do it.
Mm-hmm. And what did you come up with first, the story or this idea of I don't know what it's called, but like that masked performance art thing? Or did it go kind of hand in hand?
Good question. I had wanted to do that kind of masquerade show thing for a while, and then turned out to be the 50th anniversary of the Journey to the Moon, and I kind of just thought, oh, that would be a good. I think I had that on my mind for a while, and I just thought, oh, I have to use that idea. This is the perfect opportunity.
And it really was. It came together beautifully, and so I'm thinking right about now, BP. Do you think we should maybe take a quick view
Let's take a look
of Gouda Getaway? I love the name too.
Oh yes, it's a pun. So it's Gouda like the cheese.
Yeah.
And getaway like a holiday getaway. So it's like the moon is like a holiday, like a place of cheese that you go on holiday to, and also Gouda Getaway like got to get away, and the characters are trying to escape the moon. So,
I love that.
Yeah.
We get alliteration, one of my favorite cheeses, and like two different puns. That's phenomenal.
Yeah, I thought a lot about that title.
Okay, let's take a view. And yes, you can give us a little bit of director's commentary over Plastic Peeps Performance's Gouda Getaway. The 2001 theme, of course.
I wanted to slowly reveal that I'm just carrying
3, 2, 1.
I love that, the Lego sound.
That voice acting was fun to do.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Making weird noises.
I love this bit with the ninja as well.
2 frames there when he gets stripped. There are 2 frames where he's got the crying face on.
And I like how that guy isn't in the black as a way to still like blend in, right?
Yeah, exactly.
All planned out.
Yep. This bit took such a long time to animate because every time I have to move the walls, so I can't pause anything.
Right, yeah. It's one of those times where you're constantly animating.
Yeah. I gave him orange hair so that he looked like fire.
Yeah.
I didn't run out of time here. This was on purpose.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, this is just like the real Masquerade plays where a giant hand actually does come out.
Yeah, exactly. Hand of God was the finale.
Yeah, I love that video so much.
Yeah. That's one thing I love about your animation style, right? It's like he expressed so much personality in the minifigures, you know, whether it's like the mask stage hands in this video or in your entry to Brickfilm Day last year with the skeletons. I just love how you express all that.
Yeah, that's always the fun. Whenever I animate, I have this plan, and then always as I animate, I go, oh, it would be nice if the character did this and this and this, and then I push all of my planned parts further back. And so the further I animate, the further away my finish of the animation gets, which is always a cause for despair, but fun in the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the way the characters, the ninja guys, move is a bit different from the way the actor moves. You know, the astronaut, which is a nice little detail as well. It helps to, I think, present the concept that probably a lot of people might not be familiar with, this kind of Masquerade stage production.
Yeah, yeah. People should watch I think you can type in, if you type in Masquerade ping pong or something, there's such an amazing one. The ping pong one is so good. It's so bizarre, and the table turns over and the characters are flying everywhere. It's fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah, I did watch some examples earlier. There's another one I saw of there's a pole vaulting one where they simulate the camera movement of it going above above the heads. It's really cool.
It was so good. Yeah.
They'll do crazy perspective things because they can only work in that one dimension, obviously, right? So
yeah,
of the, you sitting watching the stage. So to go from that and do all these crazy things, which I think you executed really well in your film, where there's a bit of perspective, I think, on the viewer, where depending on where you're looking, it might present itself a bit differently.
Right. Yeah. I did want to do a little bit more. It's just sort of a time constraint kind of thing. But yeah, that that slope that turns, so you can see him going down the slope, and the paper thing spinning, and then the sort of the cardboard cutout looking things of the foreground, midground, background stuff. Yeah, that was all sort of trying to imitate that kind of thing.
Yeah, Bert makes a good point there. There is a couple of forced perspective things where you're changing the scale of, the rocket and whatnot.
Yeah, it was very convenient. I had the Lego Ant-Man, the tiny one, and the big one. That was the perfect color scheme as well.
Yeah. Yeah, and another little detail I love is the little exclamation mark and light bulb that stroke around above his head as well.
Yeah, one of the great examples in the video of a lot of emotion and energy being shown in the video, despite the fact that it's a silent picture, I guess. There's no lines or anything. So it's a really good character animation in regards to that.
Yeah, audio does a lot as well. Audio really, really clarifies what's going on.
Yeah, like you said, the little bits of that I'm sure were a lot of fun to make. That's my favorite kind of stuff to do, is just the little... I don't know if you did this, but sometimes for things like that where it's not words, but just hums and haws and grunts and things, did you watch the video back and then kind of voice it as it went along?
I think I was recording with my phone, so I couldn't watch the video, but I did watch it and then change the app, and then I would try and remember the timing and just do it like 10 times.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Normally, I mean, probably the first take out of those 10 is probably good enough, but just I like being safe.
And I guess in a way, this is still kind of a happy birthday video. It's just happy birthday to the first amateur brick film, as it is now officially titled.
Yeah, it was in the ending bit. It's Danish. It's like happy anniversary. It's very different to the way it's pronounced. Is very different to how it's spelled, because it's if you just read it with like English reading rules, it's like Talik Med Arsdagen, and it's like, what is it in Danish? It's like Tillykke Arsdagen or something. That's my expert. Definitely not expert pronunciation.
Expert Danish there.
Yeah. So that is happy anniversary. It's not happy birthday, because I wanted to have that wiggle room to be able to, still send it to birthday people, but also to still keep that like anniversary idea.
I think it shined through really well there, and that just overall, because I think if you're gonna do a masquerade style animation, like you said, where you want to show the elements and like how they're being held up and whatnot, I feel like something like that, going to the moon, being on the moon, offers a lot of different dimensions in the film. The rocket flying, the craters and whatnot, going along. So it complements not only the animation and stop motion, but like you said, just the masquerade style of it as well.
Yeah, I think the moon is such a I don't know, it's like this interesting foreign place. So you have this, I don't know, I feel like you automatically get like a creative free pass to kind of do what you want. So yeah, I think the moon is a good setting.
Yeah, anything goes in space, except screaming. No one can hear you scream there, but anything else does go.
Yeah.
How many like animations sessions did this take? Because obviously it's just one shot, but like how long did it take you?
I think it must have taken like 14-ish days, something like that.
Oh wow.
And it was like just I have the desk I use that I have my computer on now is the one that I put my set on, so I have to take my computer off, which is fantastic for stopping myself from procrastinating. I can't use my computer when I'm animating because the set's just there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would just do like, I don't know, I would try and aim for like 10 seconds a day, and I virtually would never get there, but I would just keep animating until I got 10 seconds a day, and then after about 2 weeks, I pretty much had it. Yeah. You can see if you look carefully, a lot of the time, you can see the mini build of the Earth in the top right. You can see it like slightly shift, just like a tiny bit left or right whenever I've put the camera back, because it's the next day to film.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I try to really, really put it in exactly the same spot, but I think you can if you look closely enough. I think you can spot it.
Yeah, I didn't watch it when I was watching it the first couple of times, but just flicking through on fast forward now, you do see it just jut up and down just a little bit, but very noticeable.
It works like the markers they used in like old film, where it show up in the corner for that one frame.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's it's all like part of the process. So I think it sort of works as I don't think it's anything to be ashamed of in this kind of animation.
No, absolutely not. Yeah. What you were able to do in 2 weeks and 14 days is much better than what I could do, for sure.
It's just spend lots of time.
Berto asked whether was this all done on your phone or?
The filming was done on my phone, yes. And then I recorded the sounds on my phone, But then I use the Blender video editing software because it's free and easy to use. To just like put the video on and get the timing right, and then put the sound on. Yeah.
Nice.
Penta asks if you'll be entering Brawl, because he says this 14-day brick film to make would make a great Brawl scale film.
It's all, what is it? Brick filming rapidly all week long, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Oh, in a week. That's the thing is my planning takes quite long normally. And also this time I pretty much animated for like 2 weeks, and I just like slapped some sounds on, then I could upload, because I deliberately didn't, there were no frames to edit for this one because all of the ninja characters are holding everything up when they're flying, so I don't have to edit anything out.
No masking or anything.
Yeah. So I don't have to. Ironic for it to be masquerade and there's no masking, but the process for me, the animating process just takes. Maybe I can get a lot of animation done, but then normally the visual editing and then the sound on top of it takes a long time. So.
Yeah.
And the planning as well. I like planning because you get to sort of pretend like you're being busy when you're actually procrastinating.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting because we asked, a Brick History was just on, and we asked him if he prefers the planning or animating, and he doesn't plan, so he prefers the animating.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I still prefer the animating because I'm actually getting something done. And there's like an actual result, and I'm not just like scribbling notes on a piece of paper. So Brawl would be fun, but that sounds just so stressful.
Especially if you like to pre-plan a lot, there's always, I find, when you're entering Brawl, there's always the pressure of, should I just be starting animating now? I should start now because I don't have long, and
there's that like trade-off. That's very stressful trade-off. Yeah.
And did you storyboard this one?
Or
what did the planning look like in terms of getting this all together?
Yeah, it was. I think I just noted like what things do I want to reference. So it was like, okay, I want Masquerade, Wallace and Gromit, maybe a bit of Magic Portal, and then Journey to the Moon. I was thinking, what kind of mishmash of those things can I get to try and how can I like weave those together to get what I want? And I tried a few. There wasn't actually that much wiggle room once you know that's what you want, and it was. I think I ended up just with like a list of like, okay, I want a scene where the perspective changes. I want a scene where I can like sneak a Dalek in. I want a scene where, I can I can do like a forced perspective thing. And then like I had a list, and basically with that list of stuff that I really ought to have in the animation for it to be a good animation, I just sort of organized it. I ordered it just in a way that would make a sensible story. And that was how I did it. It was quite a logical process in the end. Normally I'm more creative about it, but this one was quite strict, I found. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess because you're working within the limitations of not only your timeline, but through this masquerade style of performance, you kind of have to consider everything through that lens rather than you're probably the typical lens you would think of when you're making a stop motion or a brick film.
Yeah, I think there were just so many constraints. But yeah, I think also those constraints are, when you can find like the right answer to such a tight problem, I think it's then it's so satisfying.
Definitely. I think it's a great example of when you have those limitations, you can produce something what seems like so much more, right? And is really well put together.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us. This has been very informative. I really interested how you made it.
Thanks. I'll try not to get killed by bees now.
Yeah, best of luck with
please
that.
Try and survive.
Yeah.
I can't think of a bee pun. I want to
not
show up
deny.
Gouda Getaway, but I don't think I can't.
Yeah, I gotta get away from the bees. I don't know.
Beeline breakaway. That's
There
the
we
best
go.
I can do.
Yeah. Break away.
Yeah. Thanks for coming, and thank you for entering as well. Yeah.
Oh, no problem. It was great fun.
I think it's a lot of people's favorite video. Yeah.
Wonderful. Is that it? Bye bye.
Yeah.
Take care.
Oh, no,
Thank
the
you.
bees.
Thank you.
No problem.
So that's
Off we going.
Plastic Peeps performances with Gouda Getaway. You can find his video on Plastic Peeps Performances channel. A really creative entry. I think that's one of the standouts of all the videos we have here on the stream today, is just that they're all really, they stand out on their own. You know, even in this playlist of, how many entries were there altogether, BP?
Over 220. It's hard to keep an exact count because sometimes we find a video which wasn't submitted to us properly and people phone up saying, why is my video in the playlist? Or some people try and submit without the playlist and we gotta, So currently it's 221 to 222 around there.
So there you go. Out of 222 entries, more or less, it still continues to shine out as a very unique piece of animation. So there you have it. As do a lot of the entries stand out in their own unique way, of course. But I think it's all fair to say that's a very impressive Gouda Getaway. Getaway. There you have it. Also, I want to say one thing. Bert, you said that the Danish are funny with their pronunciation, but you're Dutch, so that's funny. I think that joke writes itself. Okay, shall we get our next guest going here?
Yes.
Who's coming up? You guys been enjoying the stream so far? I know I have. Who have we had? We have had Plastic Peeps Productions, of course, A Brick History, Bob Ross, and Vincent Van Gogh. And then we had Maisel, Airborne, Gilgy, and Rip, Rest in Peace Productions, with their Chainsaw Man anime intro. Really beautiful. All beautiful things. What are some of, I guess we talked about this, but now I'm kind of curious in terms of planning or animating. What do people prefer? Or how many people here actually do plan? Because I can say I 50-50 plan. If I need voice actors, I need to write a script so I look like I know what I'm doing, but I secretly, and I never know what I'm doing. Oh, Chromo plans. Hammershawn does not much. I like that. He plans but then scraps it for something worse. Oh, I think we have our next guest with us here. Toad Productions.
Hello.
Oh, we can't hear
I think
you.
you're on mute.
You guys do now?
Yeah,
that's better.
That's better. There you go. Boost up your sound there. How you doing? Toad Productions, everybody.
Hey, what's up?
Hi. How you doing?
Doing good.
Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, absolute pleasure, of course.
We might also be joined by Corbanzo Films, I believe, if I can get a hold of his Discord.
I'm having him send me Discord right now so you can.
Okay, no worries.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this video was here, let me get the full title here. Robin Hood Time Travels. I'm a big fan of Toad. He's a very talented animator for sure.
Thank you.
And so what brought you to you and Corbanzo together to collaborate on this one?
Well, it's actually one of his English assignments for school.
Okay.
So, oh my gosh, he started writing a script for it, and it was like one of the final assignments, I think. And so he was writing the script, and he was like, "Hey, you want to make this video with me? Because it's gonna be Robin Hood themed, or it is a Robin Hood." And so I was like, "Yeah, sure, of course." And I guess he made the script a little bit too long, because I don't know if you saw the very end, but we didn't really get to quite finish how we wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sadly, but that's kind of how it went.
Yeah. Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but you made this in a week.
Well, more like
or
a
less.
week and one day, but yeah, we started on a Friday and then ended on the next Saturday.
I mean, what you got done is really impressive for 8 days. A 10 plus minute brick film.
It was not worth it though, 'cause, yeah, that was a tireless week. That was insane. Yeah.
Yeah, I could imagine, because it came out to be, it's just over 10 minutes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so there's a lot of animation in this jam-packed, very fun film. But yeah, to crank that out in a week is very impressive.
Thank you. It was definitely rewarding to have people actually, because when he showed it, because he had to show it in his English class, and apparently nobody like even like blinked an eye. Like nobody. Yeah, it was kind of sad because it was like nobody cared because we were way over the time already.
Oh, okay.
But, yeah, so it was. So I'm glad you guys liked it, but no one in his class really cared or knew how hard it was to get to that point, I guess.
So was that the real struggle, was to meet the deadline of his assignment?
Yeah, I think we definitely could have started a lot earlier because he was making the script, like I said, and I think he started making the script like a week, maybe more, before we started filming it.
Mm-hmm.
But we weren't worried about it because he was like, we were originally planning on just making a quick, short little like film, and then here, hang on, I got his Discord. But we were just planning on making a short little film, but then he sorry, I gotta focus for a second. But then he made it a little too long, and we started later than we thought we needed to. So that's kind of the worst part about it. Is that we had a lot of chances to start early, and we didn't.
Yeah, I think that's a tale a lot of us could probably relate to in this. But I mean, that's a bit different because in your case, there's grades on the line.
Yeah. But I mean, honestly, like, I think if we would have just made a short video, it would have gotten. I was telling him if his teacher doesn't give him like A++, then it wasn't worth it. But I don't know what grade he got on that, but I know the teacher definitely liked it though, so that's good.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I need Corbanzo's full Discord name with the hashtag and the numbers afterwards in order to be able to add him.
Okay.
Yeah, crazy.
How did you...
Yeah, see, this is a guy who's brawl ready. I mean, he went one day over, but boom, there you go.
It doesn't matter. Yeah. I mean, well, me and Corbin is his name, we usually don't really like do scripts because it's not like we don't, I don't know, we never really have, whenever we're gonna make a film, it's always like last second, which is what we always do. But this time he was like actually like starting on a script for school. Here, I just got those numbers. And so we don't usually do a, sorry, I'm not good at doing two things and talking
no, you're
at the same
good.
time.
Don't worry.
We don't usually make a script beforehand. And so that's what we did for Thack. I mean, well, obviously, because it was 24 hours, but we just kind of went with the flow. And then this one is the first time we've really like used the script. And I think the script gives us a little too much power to add whatever we want. And then that kind of sets unrealistic goals for us because we get a little too ambitious sometimes. The worst part.
So you found with the script, it was a bit more difficult than not having a script.
Yeah, because without a script, I think at least it definitely made it a lot less disappointing, I guess, because like I usually when I make a script for a film, it's like I'm expecting it to look like this and all that. But honestly, I've realized after all this time, like I prefer not to exactly expect what it's gonna look like.
Right.
You know, because I don't think I'm never really gonna make exactly what I expect, what I want out of a brick film. It's always either gonna be above or below, and so that's usually what I do. I usually just don't. I just have something in my head.
Yeah.
Okay.
For some reason, it's not working. So if you could just send him my username, we should be able to hopefully get him.
Okay.
Get him in.
Yeah, sorry. It's really he's out of service right now, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, or he's not out of service, but he was out of service and now he's coming back. So.
Yeah, but I get what you're saying there, where with the script you kind of build this image of what you're expecting to end up with.
Yeah.
And sometimes that can be a little disappointing when you get there and you're like, well, or you get to a certain scene, whatever it is, and you're like, well, actually,
yeah.
I can't do this, or I have to change all of this, whatever it is.
Yeah. That's one of my biggest. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Please.
No, please continue. You're the guest here.
Oh, well, I was just saying, like, that's, and also it's hard for me to follow the script as well. Exactly, like, especially with two of us, we both have a different idea of what it's gonna look like. You know,
Yeah,
like
for sure.
that ending scene. It was originally, I think, it was supposed to be in a building, I believe, or a mansion, actually, but we didn't have the time to build a mansion.
Yeah.
And so we just used a building, and that kind of the script did not agree with that because I'm not gonna get it. I mean, this is more of a Corbanzo thing to talk about, but it was like there's some things in the script that actually required there to be like a mansion for it to work really well, and that's one of the reasons why we kind of had to cut it short because it's like there's no way we're gonna build like because I always try to look for easy ways to build little like sets that look decent enough, but I guess I didn't have it in me because it was the end of the week and I was just dead. And by that point,
yeah, as soon as you started, you were faced with the deadline, so it's a lot of pressure from the get-go, right?
Yeah. I mean, the original deadline was that the next Thursday, so we started on Friday, and but then he talked to his teacher, and we got till Monday. And then that Saturday we were like, no, we're done on this day. We're not going through. Like, there's no way. Oh, there's no way we were going to be able to.
There. Okay. Yeah, for sure.
Sorry, this is getting really weird with Bonzo. It's kind of confusing, trying to join.
So was it intended to be a Brickfilm Day thing, or did that just kind of happen?
Well, when I started making it, I was like, oh, Brickfilm Day is coming up. I could release this for Brickfilm Day. So that's kind of what my goal was for the video, and then Corbanzo's was he's gonna do it for the class. But we both kind of had our different reasons why we're making it. Because I haven't uploaded a video in like 6 months.
Right.
So I was like, I need to upload a new Brickfilm.
Yeah,
so,
why not? And what better time than Brickfilm Day? That's perfect. So you'll get a lot of, and you have gotten a lot of good response and attention to the video. So even if his classmates aren't too fond of it, you got this other YouTube audience who seems more than happy about it.
Dude, yeah.
Slight problem. We've reached the maximum capacity of the group chat, so we cannot add Corbanzo without making a new group chat, I'm afraid.
Well, just
I thought the limit was
guys
20,
out of here.
How do I kick someone? I don't know.
I'll take
Sorry, sorry guys. It's sorry.
There we go.
Okay.
Getting dramatic in the live stream here. Get
Yeah,
this
it is.
James Coward guy out of here. He hasn't been here all day.
Oh, here he is. Here's the famous Corbanzo. Coming in, hopefully.
I like Megabox more.
Along with.
Yeah, cause we both had different parts of the video. Like, we both did very different things for the video. So, I think it would be nice for him to maybe, if he wanted to talk about, he did if.
Yeah.
Having trouble.
If he joins. Oh, here we go.
Hello.
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 Yeah, welcome.
Hello. Welcome.
Oh, there you are.
New to this whole thing.
No worries. Good to have you.
Appreciate the invite.
The myth and the legend Corbanzo finally joins us to talk about the undue stress you caused to poor Toad Productions over here over 8 days.
Yeah, what the heck?
I put him through the ringer.
And so
yeah, I don't think I'm gonna be able to make a film for another 2 years.
You put him out of commission.
He's gonna officially retire soon with one more video. His retirement video.
Goodbye.
So, how did you two come together? How did this partnership begin? Because it began. You've done a few videos together now, haven't you?
Yeah. So basically, I just moved up to where Toad lives, and that's the whole thing. Got to know him.
We both played instruments, and we kind of started a band together, and then we both realized we both liked stop motion as well, so it was a perfect thing.
Yeah. So that must be cool to be able to collaborate in person as well, if you know each other.
Very useful.
Oh, yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
And so for this project, were you animating off the same like set? Would you go to like somebody's house to all animate there or whatever?
He would come to my house, and I guess we could talk about maybe the process of how we did the movie, like how our different parts of the movie. Because so what would happen is he'd come to my house, we'd kind of come up with a story, build some characters, and then I'd start building the sets, and then Corbin, I guess he'd help me with the sets. And then we start on animation. And then once we finish a scene, then Corbin edits it. And
okay.
It's pretty good.
So you're giving all the heavy lifting. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
No, he also,
I animated some of it. There's quite a few scenes that I animated. But then
I made
the soundtrack as well.
Oh, wow. Very impressive.
Very impressive, yeah.
Featuring both your instruments or only his?
It's all MIDI.
Yeah, it's like fake stuff online, but it works pretty well.
Yeah, overall the project came together as a really beautiful and great film with a lot of style, a lot of charisma, I guess, in this little thing.
Yeah.
Not so little.
Very seamless as well. I was going to ask you, who animated what? Because I couldn't tell. But if you were animating it on the same physical set, that explains a lot of it, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because obviously
we probably had
yeah, sorry, go ahead.
We probably had like 5 more minutes we could have animated from the script, but time was
of the
essence.
Day left.
And we didn't want to do another that because we've already done 4 that week. You guys know what that is.
And what's that like working with an animator, working with each other in that same space? Because obviously you can, you're together throughout the whole process of making the film. Is there a lot of conversation going on or about techniques, about the soundtrack, animating, whatever, what have you?
Well, I guess, so I'll start off animating and then I'll go, it usually varies, but I'll go for maybe a couple hours and then I'll need a break and Corbin will fill in for me and give me a little rest. And then I'll get back. We took a lot of breaks, maybe a little too many breaks for water.
Yeah, you don't need
working on this non-stop for days.
Yeah.
Yeah, you deserve a bit of a break.
That's kind of how it goes, though. You need a lot of breaks.
Did it get stressful by the end of the week? Was there a lot of maybe headbutting?
Well, Corbin kind of lost a little bit of editing to do because like it was kind of near the end. A lot of it was so he would just like lay on the couch, and then it'd be like really late. I'm like, all right, it's your turn. So it was like near the end, it was kind of like we were barely talking. It was just we were listening to music, and that's mainly the bulk of it. Like we just switch off usually, and then sleep, or like just sit down and wonder why we're doing this in the first place.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do we have the film, or at least a short little clip from it we can watch, so you guys can give a bit of a commentary?
Yeah, we'll take a peek see at the video here. Robin Hood time travels.
In a land once called Camelot.
It's Camelot.
Camelot.
I love
a great and noble hero
narration.
by the name of Robin Hood. Crusades through the
Crusades.
That was one of those things that we just decided to do last minute. Like,
through
it
the
wasn't
kingdom,
script or anything. It was
taking
just, let's have a fun narration.
wealth
Because
of
that's
the
how a lot of
rich
those old movies start.
to give to the poor. He stands for no person who takes.
And was Despite Your Face
advantage
Productions Camelot,
or-
was that maybe a bit of an inspiration, or
Yes,
did that just fit well?
over his people.
It fit
He
very
stands
well.
for
And it
no
was
one
also just
who
like
uses
something
their
to entertain the
status
viewer,
for
like
gain.
while they're listening to the
Status and status
narration.
are the same thing.
But yeah, definitely for sure.
Because you're Scottish. Get it right, or else you're
Yeah,
not getting
stylistically, you do use a lot of the same
They're
sort
status
of
for
era
gain.
of Lego. I guess the same
begins
sort of
at the end
classic
of his
faces and minifigure pieces.
Revolution! Get it right! Come on!
Ah! Against the tyrannical
Building the
monarchy,
characters, probably.
the war has taken many, but hope is not lost.
You're fired.
Wait, how do I see the screen for are we watching the video?
You shall not triumph over me, Robin Hood.
It's on the live stream, but I'm not sure.
Oh,
Well, Blandeer can pull it up here as well for us.
I can. Sorry.
Yeah, you can catch it on the live stream.
Thee have fought valiantly, O foul king, although I have taken the wares of my people, only giving back enough to keep their souls animated.
It's a very dramatic
You have
picture.
bastardized the land of the ones you call peasants.
Yeah,
In a good way.
It's not
Yeah.
That was
merciful to freeloaders like yourself.
this scene probably was the hardest to
Damn
film.
you,
We'll see in a second.
Robin.
Yeah. Just a close up with the Lego built mustache. I love that.
Yeah, this part right here. Oh my gosh.
The glory did not last. Robin Hood was...
I love that part. Jumping out of the crowd of people.
He became a drunken fool.
Yeah, we wanted like a crowd surfing
Yeah.
kind of effect. Rock star or something. That would be fun.
Why has fate left me to the rats?
This is definitely my
Plus, beloved,
favorite
I can only
scene.
find slivers of satisfaction in whores
Seeing
and
what's
pitchers
favorite
of ale.
I was gonna say everything here
God,
in like the tavern
shed
comes together
thy
really
grace
well.
on my
I love
empty
the
heart.
character animation and the camera work.
Robin
and-
Hood, you insipid snail.
That was
glory
definitely
days
a
are
very
over now.
optimistic day.
Shut your
That was the second day, I think.
Get out!
We were feeling good that day.
Filthy. Merlin's Rock.
I like how you like his
This
belly
world
wobbles a little as he
needs
comes to
you,
a stop as well.
Robin Hood.
Is there any like background noise? Too much background noise coming from me?
Great
You can always
Scott!
like mute.
Merlin!
Nope.
No, you're
This
good.
is where you have dwelled
No, it-
all these years?
How did you do that
Merlin, wake up!
little
The kingdom
portal
has been
effect there
restored! Really?
when he time travels?
That was
Yeah,
a
yeah.
multi-plane.
I'm trying to
Yeah,
get
that was a
some sleep.
multi-plane rig.
But the kingdom, why
Yeah.
don't you wish to
I
return?
used like those tube.
Listen,
those
dude.
tube cleaners. I think.
Leave me be. I've
called.
already lost
Like,
everything.
I made a bunch of different
I don't
sizes
need
of
some
them and put them on
Buddy
each
the elf
different
bothering
plane.
me. Oh,
And then-
Merlin, I thought you were wise.
And then he did a lot
The
of
elves have been
post-production camera
destroyed since the
movement and like
first
color
dark age.
grading to make it look a little more.
Stop
like a
calling me that.
portal.
You're just trying to get me
Definitely
to
over
leave. And you're making
saturated.
a ruckus. I don't need them fighting me again. Whom do you speak
This
of?
scene probably took the longest though. This scene was treacherous.
Daryl. Daryl. Old friend.
Yeah,
are-
those long
you're a hard
monologues
one
are
to
always what
find.
get me.
You know that?
Yeah. The thing
You know
is,
the
this
drill.
like, I
Hey,
mean, I guess it's more of something Corbin.
Come on, Nottingham. You
could
know I have
maybe
no
elaborate
money.
more, but since this is like an English
Nottingham?
project, you know,
That's
gotta
too
be,
bad.
like,
It's not my
there's a lot of
problem.
like old English
Should I
I'd say in
perhaps
this,
take
like what
some
Robin Hood
notes? How about a
says.
hand?
It's like
Or an
definitely older, kind of like medieval kind of language, I guess.
You!
Right.
That
Who are you to inflict
requires
this
a lot
poor
of
man with
words.
your greed?
And
Draw thy
is
sword,
not
you
fun.
plague.
But I loved
Listen,
animating Nottingham.
Why don't
That
you go
guy
back to the
is
North
just so
Pole,
fun. He's so
buddy?
creepy. He's like a weird guy. It's funny. to
What?
me.
That's one thing I think that stands
He's
out with
actually
a lot of.
he's actually based off of
Mercy.
Yeah, sorry.
That blunderbuss must be enchanted.
Nottingham
Good
was
thing
actually
I'm
based
wearing
off of like the voice
mithril
acting I
armor.
did was based off of Heath Ledger Joker. You couldn't
Don't
tell.
take one step further.
Kind of supposed to be that same kind of vibe.
You stand where you stand.
Yeah, I do see
That
that.
is
now,
your
yeah.
deal. You know, you just ticked off. This is not a joke anymore.
But what's so
I'm
incredible
taking my
to
money
me
and
is
I'm
despite
leaving.
the fact you guys were so
Stop
pressed
getting
for
in the
time
way.
and whatnot, it doesn't seem like
Daryl!
it hindered your ambition.
Daryl,
Like, because there's a
I'm
lot
gonna
of
get so
different
hot in
styles
your
here
vein.
between the bits of live action and the, you know, the brick built face we just saw there, and lots of the minifig stuff, of course.
You won't get away
Yeah,
with
but it's like weird for like as the animators. It's weird seeing like
Thanks.
you can see
buddy.
like, oh, that's
You gave me hope.
because I guess
again,
when I animate, it's like I'll go through
But
these
it's-
almost like these
but it's
phases.
too
with,
late.
the beginning, I start off like the session. I start off optimistic, and then I
you
kind of get
find your
a little
dad.
tired, and I kind of get a little lazy, and then I get better at the end, and then I have to stop. And like it's weird seeing like I can see where all those phases are, especially since I've seen this scene like a million freaking times. But like it's like I can see when like I ended the day off and when I start back up, or like
Yeah.
when I was kind of like tired. It's interesting to see.
Yeah, you know what
like,
you were
nobody
feeling, what
else
was
sees
going
that.
through your head every time you were.
Yeah.
Where did that bloody bugger go off to? I must find him. And
Yeah,
forsake
this CD
him to
scene.
hell.
Actually, that board game in the
Oh,
back
look,
on that
a
left-hand
chat.
corner. That board game is called Nottingham. Because I just used a bunch of board game boxes in the background, and I thought I should. We had a board game called Sheriff of Nottingham. Thought I'd put that in. Not that you can
Who
even
are you?
read it or see it, but
I am Robin
that'd
Hood,
be worthy.
once a great hero of Camelot. Or
Yeah,
once
what are the chances
was,
of that, having a game?
It was Camelot. Now it's something else. Sherwood Forest.
Oh yeah, this is
That was
definitely
one
where.
thing about the script.
Yeah.
That was one thing about the script that I
I am
wanted to
Robin Hood,
include was a
great
lot of,
archer
like,
of
Easter eggs.
Sherwood
If you
Forest.
listen closely, there's like
Why are
Easter
you
eggs about
here?
Lord of the Rings. There's like
I
there's
must
Dobby and
convene with the
all
Lord
that stuff.
about a troubled
And that was
soul
definitely
who calls
element
himself
I wanted to add because like
Nottingham.
it's supposed to be like a comedy, right?
You're hunting the
Usually
mob.
comedies have like a bunch
If
of
that's
those
what you
subtle
call them, then
references.
yes.
And, there's
You're an
like
imposter.
Shakespeare stuff in there as well.
I can
That was
assure
just
you
something
that there
was
is
fun
no
about the script.
imposter among us.
Yeah, and they all kind of come from the same
It's
place.
2023, man.
It creates this nice symbiotic.
What do you mean by that?
Relationship with the rest of the film.
Never mind. Forget I said anything.
Yeah.
Come with me. Where are you taking me?
Yeah, there was one joke
Friar,
in this
the other
scene
guest.
where
He says he's
I wish
searching
we
for
didn't put it in.
Nottingham.
It was an Among Us joke. I don't know. I don't know why we put it in, but we were
How
like
can we
seriously
trust you?
considering. But I was like, I'll just animate it.
Because
Whatever.
the blood of this poor man is on Nottingham's hands.
I'm glad that
Nothing
made it
about
into the
this
final
film.
cut. That
Hands.
survived the butching block in the.
No, not.
I really like how you like reimagined the Robin Hood
true.
lore in the modern day
Oh,
section
yeah.
as
We
well.
must work together.
Yeah,
Nottingham
if you couldn't
must
tell,
die.
Little John.
Sounds like a plan
I don't
to
know if you
me.
could tell who he's supposed to be. Maybe.
Yeah, I was about to say,
Could say your
Little
name.
John does look a lot like John Wick.
Little John.
Yeah.
Well, definitely.
That's who he's.
Little John?
That's who he's.
You don't want to know, man.
But we didn't quite get the
Follow
hair
my
right.
lead.
Couldn't find
Don't
the right
drag
hairstyle.
behind. These guys are
think that-
dangerous.
Just close enough.
I think it definitely comes across.
I can't watch
Where's
this
Robin?
part.
He set us up. He's a drug.
Yeah, that ending. Couldn't ask for anything more.
Yeah, that was definitely probably the best ending I've ever done before. Yeah.
You know, it's a good ending.
Yeah, I was kind of sad because there was like so much content that we wanted to add. Like he was supposed to like save everyone, and then there's supposed to be the Maid Marian, which is like part of the lore, and then they were going to start a non-profit together and then live happily ever after.
Yeah.
Any chance we
Well,
see
we
a
ca-
part
I guess-
two someday?
I guess it's kind of cool because we left it a little bit to the imagination to see what really happened. All you got to see is the car blow up. Nothing
And-
else. So
And you
there
do
could
get
be
a
a part
nice.
two coming.
You get a nice little lesson at the end of the movie, which is, you know,
Yeah.
subvert your expectations when you're doing something 8
Oh,
days
yeah,
before it's
yeah,
due. You know,
totally.
like.
Yeah, that's exactly what we were going for.
Yeah.
Or at least don't make it 10 minutes long.
Yeah. We love
The
to
funny
see
thing
it.
is, my class, like at school, all their videos, you know, they can just go outside and like film their videos in like 20 minutes. You know, it doesn't have to be anything crazy; just has to have the content of like some mythology in there. And we decided to go above and beyond, and I dragged Toad into it.
Hope you get good marks.
Oh yeah, I definitely got an A+. He gave me some extra credit, which was nice.
Toad was saying
good.
that
I didn't know
the
that.
classmates weren't too big of a fan of the film. Is that true?
I guess they just didn't.
That's what he told me.
They probably don't appreciate it as much as, you know, animators do, because
Yeah.
they don't realize how much time actually goes into it. But most of them enjoyed it. They just, you know, it's also like first hour, and everyone's kind of still waking up. So
There you go. Yeah, that's it. You gotta show it to the
That's
last
probably
period
why.
class. They get to watch a movie and school's almost over. So
Yeah.
yeah,
no, it was a great film as usual. You know, the very signature styles of both of you really shone through on this one, and yeah, like I said, I noticed a few people in chat too were saying they really like the inserts of the different kinds of, you know, styles and whatever you want to say. But yeah, very impressive work, and even more impressive
Thank you.
because of the story behind it, I'd say.
Thank you.
thank you.
Yeah. If anyone in chat would like to ask any final questions for these two fine brick filmers.
Yeah, a lot to dig in on this one.
We go back onto the live stream. I just clicked off.
And was there, like, so for this project, I guess you don't have a lot of time to plan what you wanted to do. So were you really just kind of using the script as like your whole reference, and then just kind of figure out everything else as you went along?
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's kind of
Like
how we did
when I
it.
wrote the script, I like had the vision of like the sets and stuff already, like planning that out in my head, and then trying to translate that into the script. But we kind of just ran with it.
Mm-hmm.
Like the scene where the king like gets kicked and he flies across the world, like that was impromptu. That wasn't in the script, and probably took way too long. But it was. I'm glad we added that.
Yeah, no, that was a good comedic beat. I like that a lot.
Somebody asked, "Is there anything you regret with the purple brick film?" He asked, was there anything we regret with the video? Definitely, I think we regretted not starting earlier, because I definitely think we had the chance to start earlier, right? So, I think we could have started earlier. And that's something I regret.
I think, and like you mentioned while we were watching the video there, you can kind of tell where your mind was. You know, when you look back at watching your own work, you know what was going on in your life when you were making it. So I'm sure there's probably a few things in there that you could have wished you could have done a bit more or less of, like you were saying.
Yeah.
Any chance of a part 2? Asked Berto.
I don't know. Depends on if he gets another English assignment.
There you go. So if you guys like watching Toad's films and Corbin, you got to send them all your English assignments. Okay, send it to them.
Bash out.
I guess one last more question. I guess Plastic Peeps performances said, "How did you keep track of all the shots? Film it? Did we film it in order?" And yes, that we did film it in order. Like that's how we do most of our videos. We just film everything in chronological order. How like what you see first, that's what we film first. Which I don't like doing it that way. I think we should split it up so we start with the beginning and then the end, and then we film the in-betweens.
Okay.
I feel like the beginning and the end has got to be the best. That's what I think.
Yeah.
Right,
Maybe
right.
something to do next time, maybe. But
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely.
Thank you
And
both
also
for joining.
you know what you want it to be. Yeah.
Yeah,
thank
sorry
for
to cut you off.
inviting
I don't want to
No,
rush
no,
you
no.
out or
It's
anything.
okay. No. It's okay.
Yeah, I appreciate the opportunity to come on.
Yeah, thank you so much. I know it was kind of confusing getting us on here.
Yeah, I was like on like a camping trip, and then I'm like coming home right now. But yeah.
We figured it out in the end. Are you like on the road right now, like traveling?
Yeah.
He's in the woods.
Didn't quite make it home in time.
He's scouting locations for the next Robin Hood film.
Yeah,
That's right.
we're gonna do a live action.
Yeah, they're gonna do live action. Doesn't take 8 days.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right. Well, thank you for inviting us on. That was
Yes,
an
thank you,
honor.
gentlemen. It's been a pleasure.
Lovely having you.
Thank
And
you.
safe
See ya.
journeys. Get home safe.
Thanks.
All right. See you guys. Bye, Brickfilm Day.
Take care, Toad. So there you have it. Toad Productions and Corbonzo Films with their entry to Brickfilm Day 2023. Robin Hood Time Travels. A really beautiful picture. I mean, we were watching it there, and I know we weren't sure if we were going to watch the whole thing because it's 10 minutes, but it just flies by, that film. By the time you get to the end, you think, wow, I'm already here. But no, it was wonderfully put together. Definitely, Toad, I think, has a very unique style. You always know as soon as you press play, you know that's him. And Corbonzo as well. Corbin, in this case, of course.
Yeah. I always love when Brickfilmers use that, like the classic 20-plus-year-old style figures as well. Gives it a nice charm.
Yeah, especially I think in this one, because it has that little feeling of the old medieval guys as well. So I think it adds a bit of humor, a bit of looseness to the film, those old characters. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
That's just me. Oh, we have our next guest on the way here. Jay of Joko.
Hello.
Another man I'm sure you're all familiar with. Hello.
Let's get the camera working. That is me, yes.
Hello.
Thanks for having me on.
Jay of Joko, thank you for joining us. I see you've grown out your hair since the announcement video.
I haven't cut it in, I think, a couple of years. So
a couple of years.
It was a bit crap when it was short, so I was like, I'll try something with it. And it's got beyond the awkward middle length where it's just worse, and now it's kind of decent again, maybe.
Yeah, it fills in. It fills in. So how are you? Thank you very much for joining us here today on the Brickfilm Day podcast.
A week on Brickfilm Day. Yeah, it's good.
Stream, yeah.
Good. I haven't been able to catch up on most of the videos yet because I've just got it's the end of my university course, so all the deadlines and things are coming up. But here I am anyway.
No, I understand. I was in the exact same position a year ago. So
yeah.
Yeah, it seems to be a theme of today, with Corbin and Toad also mentioning school as a hindrance. Although school was the reason for their brick filming related stress.
Pros and cons.
Yeah.
Also, you get more free time when you don't have a full-time job, so
that's
true. Roundabouts.
Indeed, a big twist there. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your Brickfilm Day entry? Bread.
Yeah, that's the one. So basically, years ago, I don't even know how long ago by this point, I had the idea for some guy just magically losing his voice in an instant, and then he got prepared with him this boombox has got a couple of recordings on it, and he then builds from there. He records everyone else's voices and plays it back, and I just never quite had it worked into a full-on script or anything. And then Brickfilm Day coming up this year, like, you know what? Now's the time. Gonna make that one. So I did, and I added in the wizard guy from the playoff, and the park with all sorts of shenanigans going on in the background, which is quite fun to put together.
Turned out great. Shall we take a little watch?
Only a minute and a half. You can probably squeeze that in.
Oh no, we got time. Don't worry. I was gonna say one thing with Joko pictures are not only are they so stylistic in the camera and the animation, but the story themselves are very fresh and unique, I find.
Oh, you gotta do something a bit different. Otherwise, what's even the point? Gotta shake things up a bit.
I mean, for me, I just find it a bit of like that cherry on top. Not only do I get to look at this crazy, great animation, but you get this lovely story.
Well, if I'm going to be bored of it by the time I finish animating, then it's not going to go well. So I've got to enjoy it myself.
Yeah, that's a great. Yeah.
I mean, the good thing about like with this one, with all the things going on in the background. So I had the main script ready, but what was going on there? That was I could just make it up as I went along. It was brilliant.
Yeah, that was a question I had actually. Was whether all that stuff in the background was pre-planned or just improvised on the spot.
So I had a whole selection of characters just off to the side. I was like, I'm going to slowly progress from being a fairly normal park to being absolutely crazy. And I know some of these characters are more likely to be the crazy ones, and some of these are the normal ones. And we just sort of, right from there. And it's not what I thought it would be, but it's great. I'm pleased with how it turned out.
What about it was maybe different from what you were hoping for?
To be honest, I think I maybe went slightly overboard on the visual noise in the background there. I couldn't help myself. Things that, I mean, we'll watch it and we'll go through it, but things like the dragon at the end and stuff, it's just, there's so much going on. I'm like, oh, were people really paying attention to the foreground or were they getting distracted? And that's for everyone else to know. Obviously, I can't see it objectively.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think that gives a nice opportunity. It adds that rewatchable value. You know, every time you watch the video, you're seeing something new, which is a lot of fun. I feel like with a lot of your videos, I have to do that just because I'm so interested in, like, oh, the way the camera's going like this, and all these things are happening. It's always a lot of fun.
That's the idea behind it. I like it to feel quite alive, especially on this video. Was like just pushing that to the limit. You know, like how much can I squeeze into one frame?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
How
did you find animating so many stuff in the background with so many characters at once?
That took up a lot of time. And the thing is, some of it you can barely even see in the final thing. But I'm like there's this play park in the background, and I'm animating all the kids going around, and I'm like, no one is ever going to look at this corner of the screen. But you know,
yeah,
did that for a few.
When I did rewatch it a second time, I did go back and just pay attention to the background as Blandeer was saying. Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
I've actually. Oh, sorry, carry on.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, I ended up making a second version of the video, which has just got the background audio. It's all the same visuals, but it's basically the voice actors knocked out the park for their background sound. But they actually are all saying stuff, and it's like it doesn't feel quite right just having that hidden away. So there's a secret second version where you can hear all the random crazy stuff that's happening and completely unrelated to the main plot in the foreground. It's yeah.
I am curious. How is it you kind of came into this style you have between, you know, the speedy animation, you know, this quick animation and all the camera work?
I get bored if nothing's going on the screen. If it's just some guy going like that, I was like, no, what's the point? Oh, you know what? I just had a spider just walking around there in the background. Yeah, why not? You know, just as I'm going. I'm like, oh, the camera's been set for about a second. Should probably shake it up a bit.
I mean, that amazes me because in my mind, I'm thinking of all the stuff that you actually have to do to make that. And I could never. I don't think. The less going on in my scene, I think the happier I am.
To be fair, in general, I plan things out a lot more than I used to. When I started, I didn't script. I just went, right, this is roughly what I want to happen, and just things played out on screen. And especially for like short contests like FAQ and Brawl, I've got really quite a set idea of what I want. But this was an opportunity to open up a bit again and just go, well, I know what's going on in the foreground, but we can just play around with it a bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And so are you storyboarding these out between the cameras and the character movements? Or what is the planning process?
So I start just with a rough script. And usually as I'm scripting it, I'm coming up with ideas of how I want to frame the shot or how I want to move the camera or whatever, because that's just how it unfolds in my head. And it's not any well-written scripts or anything. It's just got everything right there, so I know what's going on. And then, I mean, these days I do send out I get the lines recorded before I start animating. But this was one of the rare occasions I haven't done that for all the background characters. I just asked a bunch of mates, like, look, do you want to be one of these characters? Just say whatever. You know, what comes to your mind? What do you think they're doing there?
Yeah.
And they really, really went with it. It was great.
I love that. That's great. That's a lot of fun.
So it was a nice blast from the past in terms of production for this one. So.
Yeah, you've done quite a few films in this like long continuous shot with the quick camera movements now. Are there any like lessons you've learned from your earlier attempts in that style to now where it's made things a bit easier? Or
I've mostly just got a good feel for moving the camera now. I don't have to plan out a set distance or anything. And to be honest, there was a period where I was mostly doing the cameras on ones. I do that on twos quite a lot now. It saves a lot of time, and especially when you've got a character walking and you're moving the camera with them, syncing it up is a bit of a nightmare. But if you just move them with the character or whatever. So one of the main things is I try and pivot about a particular object in the scene, and that makes it easy to do without having to measure things out. Obviously, there's the odd shot where you need to actually get it actually precise, and then you start working out exactly how many studs you're moving by or get out a rule or whatever. But for the most part, just going, right, I want to be tracking this character here, or there's that log in the middle. We'll go around that, and that seems to keep things together in a way where you can actually work out what's going on. It's just not completely bewildering. So that's my main.
That's one of the things I find with despite so much going on in your videos, like it's still easy to focus on what's happening because there's that center point. The one thing usually that the camera's focusing on, like you said.
Yeah, absolutely everything is moving on screen. There's no chance. Like,
right.
How are you going to keep track of that? Especially because it's so fast paced. You've got to keep certain things very clear so the viewer can take that in and go, yeah, I've understood that, and then they can start paying attention to the other bits without just being stuck on the first bit and never even having a clue what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So
they have this very gyroscopic feel to them in that way.
Yeah, and I mean, I started off with the webcam. I transitioned to having this DSLR, and I don't seem to have changed how I operate with it. So it's not how anyone else would have chosen to use a DSLR, I don't think. But it's coming off the webcam. I've just taken all those techniques and carried on as I was.
Yeah. Have you found it more challenging with the DSLR? I imagine it's a bit bigger and bulkier than
it's definitely slower to make animations with the DSLR, but the picture quality is so much better. And plus, I use the zoom so much now. The zoom lens is very nice to have. So I don't just have to move the camera. I can change it.
Yeah. You can choose.
And also,
as well,
I've got a geared tripod for some of them, and that is brilliant. It makes it so easy to raise it up and down. And
I was going to say, you must have a
with
crazy
a webcam
setup for your camera
you have to
do all that stuff.
But then on other occasions, when I don't have all my kit with me, I literally just place the DSLR on a table, put some cards or sheets of paper under it to change the level, and it works. So again, less precise and a bit more difficult to get right, but you work with what you've got.
Yeah, absolutely. And it pays off, evidently. Like it's very impressive work. It never fails to take my breath away when I watch a Junko video.
Guess it does the trick then. Brilliant. I'm such a blagger when it comes to actually putting it together. No formal training on how to do any of these things. I just made it up as I've gone along, but it seems to have resulted in a distinct style, and that some people seem to like. So that's brilliant.
Yeah. Your videos are always, when you enter a contest or an event, whether it's Brickfilm Day or Brawl or whatever, yours is always one of the first videos I check out because I love the animation style you kind of developed.
Oh, great. Yeah, thanks.
And that's just it. I don't think like I've seen anything like what you do, not even just in brick filming, but like anywhere, not even in like live action film.
Can't imagine trying to do that in live action. Yeah. There's a lot of stuff which you can take advantage of it being stop motion because you can control every frame. It doesn't matter how long you take to do it. You can mix. You can have a constant shot. Mm-hmm. People don't have to cut because it's animation. You can stop. You can take it up a day later, or you can. Yeah, it's something which you can take advantage of in animation.
Do you find? I got one more question for you here, and do you find it's difficult to? Maybe now it's easy because it's so natural, but when you're filming over a couple of days, because your films are mostly one shot, is it difficult to kind of pick up where you left off, or do you kind of try and time it out so that you pick up off a spot that was like a bit more calm?
Yeah, if at all possible, I try and pick up sort of at the end of something happening and just before it gets into the next bit. And in my earlier videos, there were a lot more cuts. I mean, everyone's got the impression they're all one shots, but there's only the one video I think has been entirely that, and that was Step Out of Reality, which I'm still intending on finishing, and that will be crazy because I'll be picking that up having not animated on it for nearly a year, if I even get a chance to do that. Maybe it will be even longer than that, but I'm still planning on finishing it, carrying on as one shot the whole way through. So we'll see how that works.
Well, we're looking forward to it.
Yeah, it might be a few years down the line. I really hope I can get it done, but it's a time-consuming thing, animating, and there's a lot of other stuff in life. Unfortunately, there's you can never have enough time.
That's it, and it's the age-old thing. As soon as you say it's going to be done or it's going to come out, it's not going to come out, and it's not going to be done.
I mean, hey, there's a video I started in 2017. That's, in theory, I'm definitely still going to make that. I'm going to finish it.
Yeah.
Maybe it will happen. I really hope so, but So, yeah. And that's the other good thing about animation. You can just pick it up, especially with brick films. Again, this is plastic. It doesn't change. It doesn't go anywhere. you can fairly well just pick up where you left off with a project you haven't touched in years, and people won't necessarily even know that there was a difference.
Yeah, they have
It's
no
fine.
reason to be any the wiser, really. But yeah, for sure. Well, thank you, Joko. It's been a pleasure chatting with you today. Jay of Joko, that is, for all the dedicated fans out there, which I know there are many. And was the title... one more. Was the title Bread, Bread, Bread? Because I really like that, because I like bread. Was that just like because of the ducks?
It was because of the ducks, and it was also because it stars the same character who was in Break, Break, Break Dance. And I was like, oh, this is perfect. I can just have the 3-word thing, and that's a bit of a theme for this. So
yeah.
Perfect.
Would there be a third in the trilogy?
We'll have to see. I had people come to me while I was making it going, oh, you should have him killed by the dragon at the end. It's like, no, I can't do that. What if I want to bring him back? So he was not, in fact, killed by the dragon at the end. And there's ample opportunity for this this crazy breakdancer with no voice and a boombox to crop up. I have no plans, but I'm sure I will by the time I come to it.
It only takes a moment. You get that idea, and that's it, right?
I've got such a massive backlog of ideas, but I always seem to come up with a new one, which then goes in front of the others. That's how this one took so long to make.
Well, I thank you, Jay, for joining us today on the Brickfilm Day live stream.
Thank you very much.
It's been a pleasure.
Cool. Well, been good being around. Yeah.
And thanks for answering the event.
Yes, and thank you for entering Brickfilm Day.
I'm so glad I managed to make something in time for that, yeah. It's always a good extra impetus when you got this thing coming up.
Yeah,
you know what? I'll make this short little video as an aside.
It's a good motivator, for sure.
It is, and it gets so many people together from, well, it's not just one community, it's from all over, and that is good.
Yeah, for sure.
Keeps Brickfilm alive.
I'm glad about that, yeah.
Right, well, see you around.
Anyway, we'll see you in the next one.
Bid you farewell.
That's the plan.
Wonderful. So that was Jay of Joko, everybody. You can find his new video, Bread, 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 in the Brickfilm Day 2023 playlist. And I'm sure we linked it in the chat there as well. And the playlist is in the description in case you're looking for it. You only have to scroll down and click show more, and then it will show you the playlist.
We do have one more video to talk about with the creators, but before that, as promised in the opening intro of the stream,
yes,
James K would like to hop in and say hello.
James Catwood, everybody. Whenever he eventually shows up in this call, will be here. James Catwood.
How's it? There's load shedding right now, so you can't see my face. Hold on.
We expect nothing less. The man is in the complete darkness somewhere in the backwoods of South Africa, most likely.
South Africa.
Yes.
Yes. I wouldn't be anywhere else, hopefully. I just left the room where you guys said we have one more guest. I don't know how long the stream delay is.
Well, we still got one more guest. I don't know. Actually, 2 more. Very special. Do you want to stick around?
Yo, crazy. Don't want to stick around.
Yeah, and chat with our 2 more guests?
I would love to. Is it Penta and Chris?
It is Penta and Chris of Bricks in Motion.
Wow. It's almost... Would it be the one that they made? I'm sorry. For some reason, I'm actually nervous. And I don't know why.
James is, I don't know if you guys are aware in the chat, but James, he's not very comfortable being in front of the camera or behind the camera. He's kind of new to the whole film thing, so we got to cut him some slack.
Blandeer, stop doing this to me.
James, now we got the 2 creators of Brickfilm Day right here. The fathers themselves, who came together and 6 years ago made this baby called Brickfilm Day, of which now we are all a part of. Do you have any words?
It was all his idea. You can thank James. It's his brainchild.
It was my idea, but no one else I would have done it with without BP. Oh, this is getting a little too like saucy in here, like all the love, like going back and forth. Yeah. I definitely didn't think it would go 6 years on, is all I can say. Back when I was like 13 or 14. And I was like, let's do this thing.
And
now I'm
now
19.
it's just following you around.
It is, but I can't like let it go. Hey, I love it too much.
No.
Yeah.
John wants you to bring Alfie in.
Sorry?
John wants you to bring Alfie in.
John wants me to bring Alfie?
Yeah.
Hold up.
Not sure if that's possible, but might get a quick, cheeky Alfie cameo.
Cheeky Alfie.
Yeah, as Joker was
Yes.
saying, I'm glad that it's got Brickfilm Days now got like a big outreach across the sub communities, because Brickfilm Day 2018 is largely just us inviting people we knew because we knew they agreed to do it. But
I'm taking you to Alfie.
Yeah.
This is the Alfie live cam, everybody. Is he dead?
This is really weird. I'm watching on the TV here.
Oh my god, I'm on television. Mama, we made
there's
it.
lots of people in the room.
Oh my god.
This is like the
people
joke
watching
you're
us.
making about the live audience. It's actually true this time.
Oh my god.
I'm probably one of the top-rated people on South African television right now. At, what is it, 10:51 at night there?
I mean, they're shedding electricity, so there's nobody watching TV network.
No,
I
but
guess.
no, we find a way.
The resilience.
As you
That's
see.
crazy. You're on TV. You're watching yourself on TV. That's incredibly narcissistic, James.
May I pass the computer over to anyone here in the room that would like to say something? No one here actually wants to say anything.
Yeah,
Let
they
me
got
see if
something
Alfie
to
wants.
say. Brickfilm Day, 6 years. Alfie's dead.
Nah. We'll let him sleep.
No one wants to say anything. No.
They're looking. I'm saying stuff to them. They don't want to say nothing to me. I see how it is. Wow, look at all
Okay,
these beautiful.
I'm not gonna
these
do
are-
that.
These are supporters of James. Without them, this career wouldn't be possible. There you go.
Thank you. Blessings. Anyway, please do bring in the boys.
Yes.
Sorry, I feel like I'm self-indulgent with that one.
No, of course.
Let us-
Will you be? Oh, he ran away. Okay. So of course we've had a few guests today. We had Jave Joko. Oh, there's one of them. There's two of them. We've got them both
Hello.
right here live.
Hey.
They were ready to go.
We're on-
ready.
Yes.
We're on 3 different continents, broadcasting to you.
So what's the third continent? We got North America and Europe. Who else?
Africa.
James
Oh
don't
yeah,
mind.
you saw
I
the
forgot.
smile on his
Yeah.
face run away.
Absolutely.
Yes, all the way at the bottom. I'm like in a completely different hemisphere from all of you.
You are, yeah.
It is very cold.
Yeah, winter time down there.
Winter time.
Very cold. I bet you it's over 10 degrees.
It probably actually is.
Yeah.
No, I'll tell you right now. But we must talk about this amazing film. Yeah, it's 16 degrees. We must talk about this amazing film that you guys made. I loved it.
Thank you. I'm glad you did.
Thank you.
Yeah, it came together
That's what
beautifully.
it's all about.
Yeah, so it was funny because, we said in the video, like, oh, hopefully this doesn't ruin the event that we found at the earlier Brickfilm. Obviously, that was a bit of a joke, but like...
Yeah, it's a little hyperbolic, but
Yeah.
we did have that concern in mind. We're like, what does this mean? But
Because, like, it was
Yeah.
completely by accident. Like, when we were editing the video and we had this footage of us going down to the basement and stuff, we were saying, like, this feels staged, but it's not. Like, people are going to
Yeah,
think
it's such
that
a-
we've set this up.
Such an ominous, dark
Yeah,
basement as well. That just
Are there actually
appeared.
no lights in that exhibit? Like, what was with that?
no,
So
I
there's
mean
lights,
that's
it's just a black room. It's all paint
yeah.
Yeah.
They had like, you know, spotlights on the individual things, but when I heard the music, the awesome music by Joshua David Mitchell, he didn't do all of the music, but that specific section he did the music for. When I heard it initially, I was like, that sounds like too much. Like it sounds like over the top, but then I realized like, no, that's exactly how he felt during it. We were like 100% legit reactions, just like, what is happening right now? This feels unreal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just for some context for the viewers, Chris and Penta here made a video for Bricks in Motion for Brickfilm Day, where they travel to Denmark to interview Lars Henrik. Is that no Lars Hassan? Sorry,
Henrik is
Lars
the
Hassan.
cousin who, the younger cousin who we had talked about possibly making it, but he wasn't able to. But so it was just Lars. But Lars was the one who kind of spearheaded everything. So he was the best one to talk to, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Actually, it was actually Lars who suggested that we visit the Lego house. Because, you know, we were just asking him, like, oh, we'll show up and we'll talk to you. You know, we were thinking, oh, we'd probably, I don't know, go to his house or something. But he said, oh, I suppose while you're in Denmark, you're going to want to see the Lego house. And then we were just kind of like, yeah, I guess. Sure. You know, we hadn't thought of that or anything. We hadn't thought of seeing anything else related to Lego while we were there. So, you know, if it wasn't for that suggestion from him, we wouldn't have found the older Brickfilm, and we wouldn't have found the booth to make a new Brickfilm with him in.
Yeah, because we got there the night before and then did that in the morning. Honestly, like we probably would have just like, well, I mean, we might have been able like, oh, let's just stop by Lego House real quick and see what it is. But like, you know, he was the one who directly pointed us in that way. So,
Did you actually interview him at Lego House? Is that where that was filmed? The interview?
It was at the Legoland Hotel.
It was at the we initially tried to go up to Lego House and find like a space in there.
Yeah, they have meeting rooms, but they were booked.
Well, they were booked, and also you have to have like an appointment beforehand, and we didn't. So they were like, "No, sorry about it," and I was like, "Well, that's fine." And then we just walked back to Legoland Hotel and did that in like the little lounge or something. And they were, you know, it's the off season for Legoland anyway, so. You know, not very busy. The people were just like, yeah, you can do it. You can do your interview in the lounge. It's fine.
Yeah, because you did this back in February, right?
Yeah, February. And yeah,
February,
Legoland Resort is closed, but the hotel is still open.
I see. Oh, okay. So you didn't get to go on any of the rides or anything?
No.
Sadly not. That would have been a big, not a big part, but it would have been included in the video if we were able to. But
Part 2.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
Yeah.
So then what was it like then having to crank this out in, you know, just under 2 months or about 2 months?
I guess I'll handle it because I was the one who edited it. I mean, it was down to the wire pretty much, like putting the very last touches, you know, like the night before we premiered it. You know, it took about, I mean, it was about a month and a half of editing. Pretty nonstop. I would say probably put it about 70-ish hours, 65, 70-ish hours into editing alone. But it was really cool because like it was a video that I've, you know, a documentary like this I've never made before. So just figuring out the structure of it was probably the most difficult thing. Just figuring out, you know, we have all these elements, but how do we sequence them both in more or less the chronology, but also the simultaneously a narrative at the same time? And what is the most compelling way to tell the story, like the literal story, and the more thematic story that we're weaving throughout the whole thing? So that was a thing that, you know, we probably could have started editing, you know, earlier, but we had to make sure that was right before we really dove into the editing of it.
Did you know like what you wanted it to look like and be beforehand, or did that kind of all come out once you had all the footage? Like how much did you prepare beforehand with regards to questions and just, or I mean, you say that you got there and it was like, you know, let's go to the Lego house. Like how much did you actually have planned, especially being it was like such an extravagant trip? Like you had so much money going into it. Like what happened?
I'll let you take that.
I mean, my style, what I prefer to do with the podcast and everything is to just talk to people and like see how it goes, like a more sort of natural conversation, not have a bunch of like prepared questions. So I mean, it's just because like we know stuff already, so we don't really need to prepare. Like I feel like Chris is a really efficient editor, whereas I'm slow at editing. Like What I'm really good at is just showing up and talking.
Yeah, and I work for a local news station where I have to edit stuff very quickly on the day, so like I'm used to just like cranking out, videos very very fast. But this was a very special exception because like we combed through the edit multiple times, just every single little detail, making sure it was all right. But for me, when it comes to editing, I intentionally didn't do the, I mean, being around the Brickfilm community, I knew what Journey to the Moon was. I knew kind of the backstory of it. I think I glanced on the website a couple times, but like I intentionally didn't know so much so I could let Lars explain based on my questions, even though, Penta kind of does the same thing. He knows, but he'll still ask to have the story. But I wanted to be kind of the audience, conduit of like, I don't know this stuff. You tell me. So that was my approach. And honestly, like we literally just expected to go out there, do an interview, and that was it. And like, what was crazy is when we saw that Lego stop motion booth, we thought that because that happened before we went down to that basement thing. So literally, we saw that booth and we're like, we're gonna do that, and that is gonna be like the best thing ever. That's gonna make this video so much more crazy amazing. And then the basement stuff happened and completely
overshadowed
threw everything out the window. Yeah.
So the original thing is plan. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
It's just kind of related to what you were asking, but like, we had the idea in mind that we'd get some travel footage by ourselves. And we were thinking, maybe we'll add in a little bit of context of us traveling, but we thought the bulk of the video would be an interview video. But then, because we found the old Brickfilm, we realized we could like extend the traveling and build it up so you could kind of get to feel like our journey and how far we've gone, and then like feel our sort of shock at finding the older Brickfilm. So like, just the structure of the video came out of what we found. Like we didn't have it in mind beforehand.
Yeah, and we didn't plan ourselves to basically introduce ourselves as characters, throughout the narrative, but like we realized that we had to in order to give it that like an entry point for the whole narrative, because it would have just been an interview initially. And one of the things we were afraid about in the edit initially was that like, we talk about, we're going to do an interview and then here's all this travel footage and we're like, are we going to lose people? But we were like, it might, but at the same time, that is essential to give it some build up for the narrative. So I hope it paid off, but
yeah, it paid off beautifully as well.
Okay, cool.
And that was such a curveball as well. It was literally right before you met him.
Yeah, literally an hour before we met him. It could not have been staged more incredibly. Like, or it was not staged. There could have been. It was just.
Yeah.
It was unreal.
Yeah, it's like what I said in the video. It was like the universe is playing a prank on us.
It did, dude. Like, we were not acting or hyperbolizing how we were feeling. It was literally just like, I mean, the very beginning tease is me saying, wouldn't it be funny if this happened? And again, that was 100% legit. We did a planning session beforehand, and I said that. And I said it just, normally. And then I realized I had that clip, and it was just like, okay, well, that's the very first thing to see.
I was wondering whether that was something you filmed beforehand that went back afterwards and edit, but that's even more. That's even more beautiful and lucky, I guess.
Yeah, the clip where he's saying, "Oh, wouldn't it be funny if someone posted an older one?" That was real from before we'd gone. But then the clip where we're saying, "Oh, we hopped on a Zoom call," that was just a joke, essentially.
Yeah, that was we came up with that afterwards, and we're like, okay, that's a great introduction.
That's like the only staged bit in the video.
Yeah.
But it's like self-aware,
obviously fake as well.
Beautiful camping and stuff.
Yeah, and I think we were fine. Like we gave the game away that it was staged, so it didn't feel inauthentic. So
it was the wonderful video. I'm departing for the night, but I don't want to be rude. I'm just announcing my departure. But it was wonderful. Bless you guys. Enjoy the rest of the stream, everyone.
Bye. Thank you for hosting.
James K. Wood, everybody.
Yeah.
Quite literally departed.
Goodbye.
He's with Alfie now. It's in a better place.
That was
Yeah. Well, I think overall the way that works out then for the video is really nice because it comes more than just this interview with this guy who made this film,
yeah.
50 years ago. But now it's actually becomes more of a structured narrative talking about, full circle, like you say at the end of the video. It kind of, the whole thing comes full circle, which is really nice.
Yeah, and that's the thing. If it was just the interview with him, like we would have enjoyed it. It would have been fun, and like it would have been a cool thing for the Brickfilm community. But I think just through sheer circumstance, it was able to become something that hopefully other people who are not super familiar with brickfilming can enjoy. Even the nitty gritty stuff, they can understand the context and what it means to people in the community. So
yeah, like we were saying, we're so glad we actually put in the effort to come out here in person, because like it accidentally became a much greater project. Like it feels greater than simply being an interview.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you could have easily just done an interview online or something, right? You wouldn't have gotten all that extra.
Yeah, like it would have been good, but
yeah, it wouldn't have been
as
the same. Nowhere near as full as what you got, right?
I think it would have been special in the sense that, like, oh, you're talking to the first Brickfilmer or whatever, but it would not have been the same. What happened? So.
Yeah, even the ending where you took him to the Lego house and had him animate second Brickfilm all these years later. That was such a great ending as well.
Yeah,
that you obviously wouldn't have got otherwise.
It was funny because we only had 15 minutes, and I was animating the second shot in the 5 or so minutes we had left, trying to go as fast as possible. Like the figure's feet are always on a stud because I wasn't bothered trying to balance them between studs, like wasting time. It was funny because Lars was like, "Oh, you're good at this," and I was like, "I'm just trying to go as fast as possible."
Yeah, no, I know. In Sean's mind, he was like, "Oh, this animation's not great, or I have to hurry up, or whatever." And Lars is probably just very impressed at how quickly he could do it. But, and yeah, it is funny. As soon as Lars handed it over to us, he's like, "Hey, I want you guys to be a part of it." I was just like, "I'm filming, and I'll just do something very simplistic, which was barn doors in the back closing." And then I was like, I'll let Sean animate and do all this. And it also was kind of a cool feeling as well to see. God, my camera's freezing all the time. It was cool to see Sean animate in real time. Like, we've met each other. We went to Sweden last year and hung out with Sanjira and our friend Lucas. We did that last year, but to see Penta, the man, the myth, the legend himself, actually animating in person was like, this is a really cool feeling. So
yeah, to feel like you're privy to something you shouldn't be seeing.
Yeah, I guess.
Even bringing Lars back 50 years later.
Yeah. It was a very weird thing. Like, there were multiple moments where I don't know about you, Penta, but I had to take myself out of it and be like, this is a weird
crazy
thing. This is a weird thing that's happening. Yeah, it was awesome.
And even watching the footage back and just seeing myself in the footage, standing over him when he's animating his shot in that, and I'm like, this is crazy. He's animating his first Brickfilm in 50 years, and I'm there in the background in the footage. To me, it just felt like, wow, I can't believe we did this.
It's funny in a way too, because I guess if he posed the idea of the Lego house, then you wouldn't have even found out about this other commercial or have gotten him to do that either. So that's another way it kind of comes full circle,
Yeah, totally. Yeah, and I've completely lost my train of thought there, but yeah, and we went in there just a quick kind of tour directly to the stop motion booth, so we didn't have too much time to show him the commercial or anything, but yeah, no, he was very good at indulging us a little bit when it comes to all this stuff, because we had that moment of flying all the way out there and we're fixated on this little film that he made when he was 12. So we had to balance our excitement and also we don't want to weird this guy out too much.
And of course we were saying, we know that we are probably coming across as weirdly interested in this small thing.
Yeah. He was very good about it, and that's the thing. He was really enthusiastic about sharing a lot of the details. So he was a very good sport about it.
Yeah. Another thing, it it was great. He brought the little notebook with all the original storyboards and the original end card. That was really fascinating.
I will say that is the one thing, if you want to see Penta the most excited he's ever been that I've seen him, is bring out an old Brickfilm artifact and loses his mind, and it's awesome.
Yeah, usually I am sort of like deadpan the whole time.
Yes, but it was great.
Yeah, I was gonna say that must have been surreal to the fact that he brings out these things like 50 years later, that he even has that stuff. Obviously, like, even though he says in the video that it was just something they did and then they moved on to the next thing, like, obviously it still must hold a special place, not only for the brick filming community, but to him as well, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I think, tied in with, the parents' wedding anniversary, or the grandparents' wedding anniversary, is just, I'm sure that has a lot of sentimental value. He'd still want to, keep it in an attic or somewhere. And it was crazy how, like, seeing, like, the tangible thing, just being careful not to tear or rip anything. But yeah, the color was just crazy vivid. I was shocked just to see, like, how well kept and pristine it was. It was a weird thing to see in real life. So I had to take that moment of, like, kind of savoring it, like, oh, I'm never gonna see this again. Like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, sometimes if I'm, interested in, like, asking somebody for an interview or trying to get some old brick film or something, like, take a look, and if they seem to still be invested, I figure they're a good bet. And so, because he had uploaded the film in 2013 and he uploaded the behind the scenes pictures only in 2018, I was like, okay, he seems to still be interested. Like, he'll probably be down if we just email him, if he's still invested enough to upload stuff in 2018 about it.
Yeah, for sure. And was he kind of aware of that weight? I know you guys want to kind of hold your excitement a little bit, but was he aware of, how big that was, this little film he made, in terms of being at just moments before being the first brick film known?
I mean, I think he understood to a certain extent. He probably could have, just by, like, the fact that the YouTube upload had 80,000 views, that at least some people were up, excited about it, and a lot of the comments as well, but like, wow, this is the first one or whatever. So I'm sure he had some idea, but probably not to the extent of, like, that we'd be willing to travel all halfway across the world to interview him. But yeah, I mean, I think he understood it to an extent, but not really that much.
Yeah, it must be quite weird from his perspective, as you talked a little bit about this one thing he made 50 years ago as a kid, and suddenly it's got all this attention 40 to 50 years later.
Yeah, because, like, at the end of the day, we were kind of thinking, like, there's not a huge amount of information to get, like, because we did have this feeling of, like, the interviews, it sort of has this feeling of, like, yeah, I made the film and then I moved on with my life. So
yeah, there were a couple scenes that were cut out of that, just to, like, basically was like, yeah, did that.
So we were
and this
happy
other
to be able
thing.
to, like, beef up the project with our own, like, story and with other things going on, but, like, at the same time it still hinges on this, like, it's crucial.
And has he seen the finished product?
Yeah, he has. We were actually gonna wait to message him the video, like, until it was the actual 50th, but he apparently went on YouTube on his phone and he saw the video recommended to him. So he sent a very, very nice, very sweet message about it, like an email about it. He really enjoyed it as well, and the narrative and everything, and he even liked the little title card at the end. He said that gave him a laugh, so that was funny.
Yeah, I thought that was a nice touch as well. And it must be surreal for him, because I know it's almost weird how it works out, but a lot of the BFD entries this year kind of played off of the Journey to the Moon concept. Like, we were talking to Plastic Peeps performances, and he said his was influenced a bit by that film. So in that way, the event kind of goes full circle as well.
Yeah, actually, maybe I should find some of the ones that are more directly influenced, and I could email them to him. He'd probably be interested.
Yeah, he'd enjoy that.
Yeah, because obviously this is not only a big film for, this event, but like you say, in brick filming in general. So I'm sure he'd be enthralled to know that this whole hobby doesn't necessarily stem from him, but, he plays a huge pillar of influence within it.
That is one thing, is that when we released the video, a couple of people were saying like, wow, all brick filming stems from this, and we were kind of like, well, that's not true, because it was only uploaded in 2013 and like, brick filming had been around for over a decade online before that, so yeah. So that's kind of not exactly true.
And I think that was one thing as well when we were figuring out the narrative about like the amount of reverence we should show it, because obviously this is the whole video is about it, but like whether we say it is a brick film is it the first brick film, is it not, or whatever, like we didn't want to. We had to come to the conclusion of like, brick filming doesn't depend on this one film being the first brick film or anything. Like we need to find that balance between appreciating it for what it is, but also not like worshiping it blindly or bowing down to it just for the sake of it, just because it's an old thing that is really cool, but like we need to appreciate it for what it is, and that's it.
I think in the video that comes off well too. I mean, it's very clear that this guy isn't like the father of brick filming or anything. He didn't create like this hobby, this genre, but it's made clear that this is, the first example, at the time, the first amateur brick film known.
Spiritually nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And it's nice that this earliest known brick film, well, there's some debate around that now, obviously, but it's nice. I know you've talked about this before, Penta, but it's an actual well-crafted, well-shot and made narrative, as opposed to some of the other really early stuff, which is just very rough.
Yeah, there is actually stuff to celebrate about it beyond just that it's the earliest known amateur brick film.
Yeah, and that's one thing I really wanted to highlight, especially in the last third of it, or in the last probably sequence of it, is that like, spiritually, that's like. And and again, that's hard to really describe to like someone who's not in the brick film community. Is like certain brick films have a certain feel to them, and I cut it out of the edit, but there's one joke where I literally just say like, sometimes it's just vibes, and that was kind of it. Just like kids in front of a camera, just wanting to tell a story, and that's kind of that idea was what we really wanted to make clear in the last sequence of it, is that like, regardless of the technicality, it's the first of that, and that's what we love. So
there are some things that like may technically be brick films, but it feels hard to call them in the same spirit as brick films as we know them. Like even the Lego Movie, like if you ask somebody what the best brick film ever is, they're not going to say the Lego Movie, even though it probably is technically a brick film, and if it's technically a brick film, then it's surely the best brick film ever. But like, it doesn't spiritually feel like the right answer to what's the best brick film ever.
Yeah, like Lego Movie is literally one of my favorite movies ever, and I probably like it more than I like most of my favorite brick films, but I would not call it like one of my favorite brick films. It's just such a hard thing to. It's just a weird thing to say. Like, it's just vibes.
Yeah. It's a big professionally shot movie with a bunch of professional animators. It's not quite, doesn't have the charm of someone doing it as a hobby in the bedroom, does it?
I guess it's taken so far that you can't even really call it a brick film anymore. Like it just becomes a regular film, even if it may still technically be a brick film.
Yeah, the production of it more resembles just a regular animated movie than it does a brick film. So it feels closer to that. So yeah, if in the same way that like, if someone makes a 3D brick film, that process more closely resembles like a stop motion film than it would a big budget studio animated film. So I guess the process is also a part of it. And that conversation that we did on Bricks in Motion with a whole bunch of members, that was like, we can't thank everyone who participated in that enough, because that really, for one, it helped us figure out what exactly the order of the narrative is going to be. And it helped just clear up, and we didn't want it to just be us saying all this stuff. Like, we wanted to have it to be a participatory thing where people from the community, had a say in it as well.
This was a big thing we had in mind, was that we didn't want to, like, be the people who make the ultimate call. We were trying to leave it sort of open-ended. Like, we didn't want to say, this is definitely a Brickfilmer, this is definitely not a Brickfilmer, this is definitely the first, this is definitely not the first. We're kind of like, we don't really have the answers in a concrete manner, so we'll allow people to just discuss it.
Yeah.
We didn't want to be the arbiters, and I think initially there was that sense. I don't want to speak for Pens, I know there was for me. I think initially after it happens, like, oh, well, it's still not a brick film. And I just kind of like, not even joking, we spent the last couple days, because after the interview, we still had, we went to Copenhagen, we still did a couple more things, just hanging out. We went to like a commune, which was really fun. We didn't include any of that in the video. It was just weird and fun and awesome little commune. It was great. I completely lost my train of thought of that. No, we spent like the last couple days, literally, like we would just be walking down the street in Copenhagen, whatever, and then one of us would just be like, "Oh, well, like, think about this. Like, what about this is considered a brick film, but this isn't? How would it?" And like it just kept coming up in conversation, just over and over again, trying to wrap our heads around. And I think it was probably for the best, like that we had those couple days, so we could just not have that like be the cliffhanger and then like, oh, goodbye. Like, we could just wrap our heads around figuring out this narrative. And even after we came back, we still had to work things out of how we were going to structure this thing and how we were going to make it work. And then I think we came up with the best narrative of, yeah, it's not technically the first brick film, but maybe spiritually it is. And what does that even mean? And
does it even matter?
Does it even matter? Because the answer's really no. But it's still fun to talk about and think about. So
yeah, and it's interesting how that Discord conversation about what is a brick film, in the video, it's almost put together backwards from how it like actually went, and where everyone was started off kind of general, where it's like just like this feeling. And then it became specific, whereas like in the video, you kind of deconstruct that. You say, well, brick films are this, but actually, no, they're just kind of a feeling.
Yeah. And that was one thing that we wanted to make sure we got, and a couple people did kind of articulate it, was that, like, we say at the beginning, a brick film is a stop motion animation with Lego, and then in the little sequence that we have from that conversation while we're doing the whole bit about the backrooms underground place or whatever, we wanted to show that like brick film is a stop motion animation with Lego. There are things that are not stop motion that are considered brick films, and there are things that are technically stop motion animation with Lego that are not brick films, in the way of like those old ads that kind of build up with Lego that are technically stop motion. So we wanted to demonstrate like how the definition just is a wash, basically.
Yeah, flexible. It's always going to be a grey zone where it's always up to your own interpretation rather than one concrete definition that fits all.
Yeah, I like when Mind Game said, "I know it when I see it," which is that's a principle I like in general.
Yeah.
Sometimes, depending on what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. Especially within the context of brick films. Almost like you got to be there. You had to be there to get it, kind of thing. But I think that's where this film kind of comes through, because it bridges that gap. And, I know some people have mentioned they've shown it to people who don't do brick filming or outside the community, whatever. And they're like, yeah, I got this. I understood everything by the time it was done. There's no questions, except I guess like you said, there's a bit of an open ending there, but yeah,
we did have that moment of like, is it going to come across strange to the community that we do this intro where we're introducing ourselves? But like, obviously the people subscribed to the Bricks in Motion channel are probably going to know who we are already. But yeah, we were hoping like, hey, maybe if we give this enough intro, like people who don't know anything about this might actually be able to watch the video and still enjoy it.
And I think it was also, showing like where we started, of like, oh, I started brick filming when I was 8 years old, and I started brick filming in 2007. Like that type of stuff, I think also was an emotional element that we needed to establish early on, of like, we've been doing this since we were kids, and that was basically the seed of why, like, when we say, oh, Brickfilm, at least, I was the one who's saying this, but, like, it's the most, like, pure when it's, kids teams or whatever starting it, because that's where we started. So we wanted to demonstrate that, that it does have, like, an emotional center to it for us, and that's kind of what instilled those, why we have those same vibes of what we consider or what we think of Brickfilms as.
I know I've seen videos on YouTube where I think like, oh, I don't know anything about this subject matter, like this probably won't be a very interesting video for me, but then it's just done in such a way where it actually becomes, you can get invested as a story just because it's portrayed well. It just has a good structure and narrative. We were hoping to achieve that effect.
Yeah, and I'd say you guys did wholeheartedly. Now you're that video for this niche,
And of course, I mean, yeah, obviously, we're not trying desperately to get views or whatever, but we are hopeful that it can be a sort of evergreen video and just continue to roll along over the years, and people will still find it and watch it and enjoy it.
Yeah, and I do want to thank everyone who's been commenting and being really awesome and receptive about it, because I think you spend the money to go halfway around the world and spend all this time editing, and you're like, I have the certain expectations of the view count that you want it to be, and I'll be honest, I did. I was like, I hope it gets X amount of views or whatever. Let's just say it hasn't gotten there yet. But like,
you don't need to be hoping for that over time.
Yeah, over time as well. But like, the reception alone, I genuinely think has been 100% worth it. Like, everyone's been so really gracious and kind about it, and it hit emotionally, and in terms of like, not just emotion, like, oh, this made me feel something, but like, people feeling tense during the backrooms bit, or like, oh, this is really cool, you're showing the artifacts, like having those reactions in the way that we were hoping they would, like that in of itself really made it 100% worth it.
The title card and the storyboard, it was nice to see the live chat as we premiered it, and people thought bits were cool.
It works really well as a film beyond just an informative video. It works as a proper documentary film with all the narrative journey and everything.
And of course, obviously we're grateful to have Brickfilm Day. Like, Brickfilm Day provided the deadline, and also the fact that we knew that Brickfilm Day would occur and is tied in with the anniversary of Journey to the Moon. Like, because we had this idea like 2 years ago, like, hey, for the 50th anniversary we should do something with Journey to the Moon. It's like, well, it's like, it's now or never. The 50th anniversation is the greatest time possible to do it. So it felt like, okay, it's worth like spending the money and putting the effort in.
Yeah, it is weird to think like, I actually went back and found some old logs that I had sent to Penta. From 2 years ago we had the idea, and then we just had it in the back of our minds of planning it for so long, although we didn't actually like start materializing it until, I don't know, maybe October, November. But
that's why I encouraged Brickfilm Day to move the date from February to closer to the actual release date of Journey to the Moon. I wanted that video to be like for the anniversary, but also for Brickfilm Day.
Yeah, no, thanks for that suggestion. You did suggest that months in advance, and it's like, you know what, that's a good idea. Yeah.
Because it was for the best for everyone's purposes and our purposes.
I mean, I had already thought of that when you did the one for the 45th anniversary. I was like, okay, that's cool and all, but why isn't it on the actual date? Like, because that's the type of tiny little detail that annoys me and not many other people.
Say that with James. It was James's idea. He came up with the concept and the date before I came on board. So.
Yeah, where's he now? Not here.
He dipped.
Totally kidding. I know. He didn't want to be called out on camera. So.
Right. Thank you both for joining. I don't want to rush you off, and you're welcome to stay. I don't know if Blandeer wants to continue the stream or not, but I do need to get off as I'm up for work early. But yeah, thank you so much for coming on, and thanks to all the viewers, and thank you for uploading this excellent documentary on Brooklyn Day.
Yeah, it's awesome. You know, you guys put on an awesome event, and we were just glad. And I think he himself, Lars himself, was because we told him about what this was for and how there was this event that was kind of centered on Journey to the Moon, and he thought that was really cool as well. So he enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Glad to hear it.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us on, because we have a lot to say. We like to say it.
Thank you so much, guys.
Well, I mean, if there's any last comments maybe you guys have about the film that you'd like to share.
I think you said pretty much everything. I mean, it was just so much fun to put together, and you know, it's been worth it because I think everyone's taken really well to it. So, you know, thank you.
Yeah, definitely a once in a lifetime
Reception's
opportunity. So I'm glad it worked out for everybody.
Well, don't know how we'll top it next year.
Yeah, we might. People are clamoring for like another iceberg video. I don't know. We'll see, but like nothing. I think there was that feeling of like
this is
what,
it. Like, this is
what
the
can we
ultimate
do
video,
now?
yeah.
Honestly, at this point, I might just retire and be like, I'm done. I've made the best thing I can probably do, and everything else will be a disappointment. So look forward to that.
Yeah.
More disappointment coming soon.
Yes.
Love to see it.
The long beheld pressure of the future in terms of brick filming for sure.
Yeah, if anyone hasn't seen the video who are watching the live stream, I'll link it below. It is a long video, but well worth the watch.
Definitely. And it's on the Bricks in Motion YouTube channel.
Like and subscribe. We're very good friends with Brickfilm Day. They are great people.
There you have it. I think that just about wraps it up for everybody here for the stream. Yeah, any final words, BP, of Bricks and Pieces Animation?
Just thank you to not just Penta and Chris, but everyone who came aboard. Spent some time on the stream just talking about their video, and thank you to the viewers. Hopefully it was of interest to a lot of you, and yeah,
and thank you to everyone, of course, again for participating in Brickfilm Day 2023. If you had the opportunity, and if you didn't, of course, it's the thought that counts, and we appreciate that as well.
Oh, and enter brawl.
Yes, enter brawl.
Yes.
If you're hankering for something to do.
June 24th, July 1st is Brawl, Brickfilm Rapidly all week long. It's a week-long contest that we have, and you have the chance to also win a special Lego House limited edition duck Lego set signed by the designer that we got. I will actually go get it. Give me 25 seconds. Where is it?
If you guys watch the video, you can see the prize that you might win if you enter Brawl 2023.
Yeah.
Penta, do you have yours?
I would highly recommend entering.
I do have mine, but I actually still haven't built it.
Oh, I feel like if I had that, I'm not sure I would, because the box with the signature. But
I mean, I'm going to keep the box, of course, but I'm willing to open it.
Mm-hmm.
I already built it, but yes, here is the set. Let me turn off this stupid blur. Yes, here it is. You can win this. It is unopened. I will ship it out to you wherever it is in the world you live. Signed by the designer Jamie Wheeler himself. It did have a tiny little bit of shipping, but that's it.
It's tough to haul them home from Denmark in your luggage that's already full up. So yeah.
Yeah, we were squeezing to make sure those fit. And it's a great set as well. It's really cool because like you see the little chain on it. If you just like tug it, it has wheels.
Does it quack as you pull it?
It does. The beak just goes up and down like that. So it's awesome. So enter Brawl for a chance to win, along with the Sanctum Sanctorum set or the Lion Knight's Castle set, which is two other awesome sets. But June 24th, July 1st.
Very exciting. And there you go. It's not even just signed, but it's a Lego House exclusive. So you can only get it if you're willing to fly out to Denmark and visit the Lego House.
Or go to a convention where they're they're selling it for way more than it actually costs, which I did see at Brick Fair. So,
well, there you have it. Right, I think that's about it for everybody here. So yes, we said our goodbyes. We said thank you for joining and viewing.
Yeah, And thank you to you, Blandeer, for hosting this with me and covering all the technical whatever.
Oh, thank you.
Which I had no clue what to do.
BP for joining me, letting me do this, giving me so much responsibility. I appreciate that. Very few people would be willing. But BP is foolish enough. There we have it. Toodaloo. Take care.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Stop.